Yo, 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 what's up? It's in my take your time, take your time. That's right. A little late, but in my defense, I don't got no defense. This is a kangaroo court. Innocent. I'm innocent. Beat the case. Glad we settled that. What's up, beautiful people? I'm back. I mean, I didn't really go anywhere, but apparently, if I don't stream for like 3 seconds, Scotty starts complaining on quadruple time. So, I had to do it. Coming in with some different audio than usual. Always switching up the audio. I hate when things are consistent. Who's in the chat talking crap already? We got Scotty, SVC, Jesse, of course, Camzex Legendary, and myself. Why you look like you just got off your shift at McDonald's? Hey, man, you know what? This is Sarah, baby. Yeah. Not a sponsor, but I am going to keep hoping they send me a bunch of these filters that keep getting marked down at Petco, okay? I said I like these filters. I wish they would send, I would fill my whole fish room. Send me free stuff. Send me free stuff. Come on. I don't want a coupon code. I want free shit. You can tell I'm in a fantastic mood. Got some chores to get done today. Got some chores. Got some fun stuff, that came off last second to talk about. And if this is me getting off my shift at McDonald's, just know I'm a manager. In fact, I'm a Mick manager. Bet you never met one of those, huh? Yeah. Never dealt with a real McFish boy. So, that being said, moving on, topics in the title. What did I say that I'm going to talk about this stream? How many lies have I told today? Okay, Killifish, I wish I got by right now. Yep, I can talk about that. Breeding reports. Yes, I got breeding reports on some fish. That was horrible. You're just jealous. Breeding reports on some fish. I got a fish and a shrimp update, breeding-wise. Actually, I got a couple fish. Man, I got... It's going down in the Breeder Awards program, man. I'm about to smoke these fools. I'm gonna make them all retire, okay? Aaron talking all this crap, writing all these articles for points. But beyond that, fish chores, yep, I got some stuff to do. Disappointing local fish stores. I went to a local store to me that I already did not necessarily think was worth going to most of the time. But man, I was really disappointed to the point where I'm like, I'll never go back. So I'll talk about that, and I'll say why. I got the photos. I got it all. We got content, and of course, if you're in the Discord, in my Tanks Discord, someone drop a link to that. I was taking a gander, a look on my algorithm, my For You page on In My Tanks, and KG Tropical's live stream came up. They were reacting to some kid, some small channel, no idea how they even seen this video enough to get worked up to the point of making an entire live stream about it. But I love some fish YouTube drama. This is what we need more of. So I'll definitely be watching that, reacting to that. I commented on the video. The kid responded. I commented back. I'm aggressive right now. I'm agitated. I'm just commenting everywhere. Just fighting on the internet everywhere. Why not? Why not? What else am I doing in the bathtub? I mean, let's be real. It's like, pop some bubbles, meditate. Come on, I gotta do something, So, yeah, I've been across all my aliases, all my accounts, my alt accounts. I'm just arguing with people just to stay sharp, just to practice, because you never know when you gotta go to war. From the bathtub. Now, with that being said, I got to get the charging thing to my computer, and then we'll get started. And you still should be able to hear me because we're going wireless. I got a wireless mic. Have you ever performed at a state fair or otherwise terrible venue? Sometimes you get stuck with the wired mics. You can't do anything. You can't dance. You can't do your act. Now we got the wireless for the fish YouTube because I might have to do a little cha-cha slide into some points for the Breeder Awards program. 200-point month next month, October. Well, technically the next month, but it's close enough to September where the next month's October. I'm going crazy. Okay. So, with that being said, let's get into some fish. So, I'm going to have to actually start with the first thing in the title because I don't feel like doing any chores and I don't feel like working myself up to watch a video yet. And I've been thinking about this all day. So, this is partially because I like killifish. I want to talk about killifish. And it's also partially a cry for help. It's a cry for anyone with access to these fish to sell them to me immediately. This is basically like I'm trying to buy some of the good stuff, but I just don't know any drug dealers. So because buying fish isn't a crime, I can just go live and beg for a fix, Give me the fish. Give me the fish. No, get these guppies out of here. Get this. What is the stuff that they're trying to sell me right now? Okay, let me pull up a site. Let's just see. And I'll pull up the freaking killifish too. All right. Putu said, "Good luck. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you." We don't need luck. We got the talent. We got the skill. We got the other words people use, the chutzpah. That word kind of just sounds disgusting. I don't stand by that. I'm going to take it back. I take it back. All right, I'm setting up the next scene on OBS. We're about to go incognito, and then I'm going to go cognito with the fish that I'm about to show. You see what I did there? Take your time, transition. 186 Elements said, I've never owned a killi species to date. You've got to change that. Killifish are supreme. I am a killifish. I'm somewhat of a killifish shill. I'm not gonna lie. I have an agenda. My agenda is I like killifish, and I want everyone to like them. But maybe we'll be able to convince you to give them a chance by the time we go through my little wish list here. But before I do that, I'm going to Streamlabs because I'm trying to see what's up with my chat text. I don't know why I made it orange. I'm sure I had a reason at the time, but now I'm like, I can't read this. But the first fish. Now, people who don't know about killifish, you got the different families, the different genus, the genuses. And, you got fundula pancheks. That's one. If you see like the blue and red the gardener-eyed killifish, that's a fundula pancheks right there. You got the aphyosemians, if you're a fan of Dan's Fish, their logo, I believe, is Aphyosemion bivitatum funge, right? That's Aphyosemion. Then you got like Procatopus, that's the ones that I'm picking eggs on here all the time of. And I'll have to say, the reason why I'm going through these different, little, why are you talking about Aphyosemion fundula panchek? Because it's a cult, okay? I'm team Aphyosemion for the most part because to me they're the cutest. They're a good size most of the time, good temperament. The fundula pancheks, there is going to be some on my wish list. They're pretty, but they, on average, in my experience so far, tend to get a little bit larger, sometimes a little bit more feisty, a little bit more likely to eat things I don't want them to eat. So Aphyosemion definitely have my heart here, just a tad. And we're gonna fix the chat color right now. Oh yeah. Okay. We're back. All right. So, with that being said, our first fish on my list is going to be a fundula pancheks. Fundula pancheks. Okay, I'm not going to try and pronounce the other start, but this is the blue galaris. Now I know what you're thinking. Blue galaris, you've had blue Galaris. You did the dwarf reds and stuff. Why is this on your wish list? Why can't? Okay, because the thing with killifish is they vary a lot based on location, collection point. Let's see. Sunny G said, I made it to In My Pants live stream. What the? What's up, man? I just found a Fundal Patrick's True Day fry and seeing some development on my Gardner in Australia eggs. Very fantastic. That's a Fundal Patrick's Gardner and an Aphyosemium Australia. Those are the gold pheasants. You know, okay, we got elite measury habitats. The wider the mouth, the meaner the kill. You're speaking my fish language right now, sir. There you go. Luis knows. Wild beta or killie species? It depends on your goals. I say killifish, or I say both. You know, I'm doing both right now at the same damn time. So, anyways, when I had my dwarf reds, I bred a good amount of pairs. I took them to the store. You know, I put them in the auctions and stuff, and then I fumbled from there. There's one form of blue Galaris that I lust for, and I had a pair. The eggs were never good, and I fumbled them. Ultimately, I was incompetent. So it was a bit of a redemption thing here. And this is the low LOE with this little little thing above it, collection point. And the thing to know about these spots, right? If you go to the American Killifish Association, one of the useful things is that they will list the populations, right? So we see Funge, Lagos, Low, Port Harcourt. You know, it's not just a random name. Like this is usually like a town, a village, kind of a thing. So if you search them up, you could probably find where they, around where they come from and get some inspiration, which is kind of nice because it could be as specific as like a ditch. Sometimes on some of these fish they have longitude, latitude. But anyways, I very much want this fish. It's at the top of my list as far as killifish go. These ones, they get bigger than your average killifish. But at least in my experience, they're not that as aggressive as you might think from the wide mouth rule. I've had much more problems with the garden ride than I did with the Galaris. And my theory for that is they're not insecure. They just know that they're bad fish. So they don't really feel the need to show that off all the time. Community tank, I think both could work. I still lean killifish because I know less about wild betas, but the Alba marginata that I've had have been pretty tame. All right, so this is the first one, okay? The blue Galaris from the low collection point. I just think that you look at this fish, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think it looks very unique compared to the other locations. And when I had them, they weren't too mean or anything. Can't ask for much more, at least in my opinion. And Luis said the Galaris I had at the shop had bad attitudes. Yeah. Now, I will say with the killifish, raising them, how they're raised, fish have personalities. I do think that if you bred them and kept them with a bunch of fish, it's not as bad. Like some of the garden rat I raised up with other fish didn't have as much problems. But I have a blue Galaris with some inlers. I'm sure he's snacking on the fry, but he's a gentle fish. Yeah, so I mean, the fish do have personalities. But now, the next fish that I would love from the Aphyosemium genus is Aphyosemium alberti. Now, you might notice a trend with me as far as color. I really like blue killifish. I do. With the red and the blue, it's just something I really like. So yeah, Aphyosemium alberti, you can see some of the different locations. I just love the blue body, the red highlights, and then they got kind of that unique pointed dorsal, just crazy situation going on. Let's see some of these different locations. I mean, they don't vary too much where it's like, oh, I don't want that location kind of a thing. Now, these do seem to pop up from time to time. I feel like Rehoboth Aquatics had some of these recently. But I mean, if you just look at that, like, that's a pretty nice fish. And Sunny G says, very nice, yeah. No, I really like how it looks. Let's see what AKA says the size is. 4 centimeters. So yeah, that's about 1.5 inches. Good size. That's why I like the Aphyosemians. To me, seem to stay a little smaller, and I have a feeling this would be a great fish. Now let's see what did they say about breeding this thing. Breeding notes. Reports would suggest breeding is a little more difficult than easier Aphyosemian species. Some populations are easier than others. Okay. Eggs deposited in floating mops. 12 to 14 days to hatch, but can go to 20 days. That's actually not too bad. Fry are large enough to take newly hatched brine shrimp. Ooh, okay. Growth seems slow, and it can take 8 months from the reach sexual maturity. Okay. But down here it says first signs of sexing out is 6 months. All right. So yeah, that's another thing. As far as fish that live longer, the Aphyosemians seem to, on average, take longer to grow sometimes, to reach maturity. And I think that they probably, if you're looking for a killifish that, I mean, all of them can live for a few years, the non-annual ones, but I would say my Aphyosemians seem to show no sign of getting too old yet. One of them at 2 years, so it's a good fish. It's a really good fish. It doesn't burn out too quick. All right, let me double check the chat. Make sure I'm caught up. Okay. The next killifish that I would desperately like to obtain has a name that I cannot really pronounce too well. So we're gonna have to actually find it. And this is where we're gonna rely on the AKA. So we're gonna go up to the American Killifish Association website. We're gonna do our best to go through the general index, and then here we see all the genuses. And I have to try and remember which one that it is. I think it's Platyplochilus, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just gonna click on a few things, and we're gonna see if I can find it. Ooh. And just so you know, this is, okay. So you know I like the Procatopus, right? That's one lamp-eye killifish, but there's a few more that are kind of interesting. Like you see this one, the Rexapanchex, it kind of looks like the Procatopus, but a little bit smaller. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. This one almost looks like a balloon-bodied Procatopus, the Rexapanchex nimbensis. Okay, so I don't think it's the Rexapanchex I'm looking for, but that was a lamp-eye. That's in the right area. I'm looking for a lamp-eye fish. Definitely looking for a lamp-eye. So, okay, Platyplochilus, not quite. Okay, this is looking closer to the one I'm looking for, because I really enjoy the kind of rainbow fish type appeal of the schooling lamp-eye killifish. Ah, here we go. This is the one, Platyplochilus militania. Look at this guy. It's like a Procatopus, got a little bit, almost like porky type body shape to it, but it's that red line. And I've seen it in person. I had a pair of these. My sister was trying to put terrestrial plants in the top of tank. She moved, unbeknownst to me, the lid to make space for the plant, and the fish jumped out of that space. So the one time the fish jumped that I don't have to take responsibility for. That was definitely my sister. But just look at this fish. This male is collected in Gabon. I can tell you they did look this good. The red line was very prominent, and it was a very active fish. Just really cool. So as far as lamp eyes, the Platyplochilus militania, this is the number one for me that I'm trying to get a hold of again. I would rather get this ahead of the blue Galaris, honestly, because I'm super into the lamp eyes as kind of my niche killifish thing. That's one thing I like about the killifish. They really do come in all shapes and sizes, you know. So, let me see. Another fun thing you go down is the rabbit hole of which killifish actually live in the waters with each other. You can do all these fun little biotopes. So let's see. Let's look at the history. Probable first introduction to the hobby in 1976. At this time, it was found south of Lamborghini, not far from the type locality collected by Ed Perls et al. In 1985 in points 150 kilometers apart. Okay, water depth was 20 centimeters. The fast-flowing water was 24 Celsius, very soft and acidic. Okay. Okay. Sympatric SP at this point were A. Escherichia, Neolibris, Anzorgi, and Sinopa kingsley, and Barbus SP. So that's another fun thing about the AKA. Sometimes they say the sympatric species. And let's just look up the word sympatric. Okay, animals or plants of related species or populations occurring within the same geographical area. So pretty much what could expect. So let's see what fish are found with this lamp-eye killifish. And the A I'm gonna assume is Aphyosemion. Okay, okay. This is a pretty cool killifish, Aphyosemion escherichia. Kind of looks like a striatum type situation. Yeah, not a bad looking fish. Not making me want to go chase it over my lamp eye here. Let's see what Neolibius. Is that ooh, what is this? This is a weird looking fish. This dainty cherison was fairly popular in the 1950s and 1960s. Nowadays, rarely seen. Yeah, this is a weird little fish. Hold up. we may be onto something here. We might be onto something. Okay, 2.5 to 3 centimeters long. Damn, very small. Commonly overlooked or prefers habitats where it can't be collected effectively. Okay, they're dwarfs, not particularly delicate, etc., etc. Wow, this is a cool looking little fish. Let's see, seriously, fish got some better photos. All right, guys, add this to the wish list. Neolibius and Sorgi. I like it. It's fitting my vibe right now. But we're on the killifish. My bad. I'm just trying to see what other fish are around with these guys. Yeah, excuse me. Oh man, I just love this. They just look like Procatopus that are meaner. I'm not gonna lie. The Platypus. See how I pronounced that real confidently wrong? Okay, what's the Sinopoma kingsley? Let's look up those. What are these? Okay. These are also found with our little lamp eye. This is an interesting little fish. Tailspot Sinopoma. Not the most flashy looking thing, but seems like a cool little fish. Cool little gourami type situation. Okay, one more, and then we're back to it. It's just this Barbus SP, so I guess it's just literally a barb. Some kind of barb thing. All right. Now, I'm gonna go into Aquabid real quick and see the killifish just to see if any of the ones I've been looking for are on there, or it just strikes inspiration real quick. Wow, look at these ads are so spectacular. Okay, yeah, I was just reminded of one. You guys, some people actually might know the species. This is one that does pop up, so I could actually obtain it. But it's another Aphyosemion, that's Aphyosemion aguensis. This is another cool one. Again, noticing the theme with me, I like the blue and red. Look at that. Crazy looking little fish. This is a picture apparently of a female. That's wild. It's like got a dark body with red spots all over it. That looks fantastic. But all these collection points you see have a very consistent blue red theme, although some of the fins are wild. Like look at the dorsal on this one versus the dorsal on this one, like super pointed. So this one is one of the ones I definitely. Oh, look at this. We got a little. Sometimes they have pictures of where they're collected, so just good to give you a little bit of context, inspiration for the fish live. Not very deep looking. They say easy species to breed, water incubation 12 to 20. Nice. Growth is rapid, fairly rapid with sexual maturity in 5 months. Not bad. Yeah, this one is high on my list. High. Under the lampi, above the blue collars probably. But every fish I'm talking about, for the most part, the Ilberti, I would say I wouldn't necessarily buy immediately. I do want that fish, but all the other ones I've talked about, like, I would buy right now. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to wait around for Maurice's 20 billion day auctions to get them. Aguin's has been on Aquabid relatively frequently, but usually just goes more expensive than I'm willing to buy, or the auction takes forever. Like, look at this, the 8-day auction. I'm not setting an alarm for that, you know. Which Procatopus do you have? The Finfida? Oh, I've got 2 Procatopus, and we're gonna have to go to a on the scene camera break in order to see what's going on here. So, technology. You like that? You like that theme? Beto Great Lakes says hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Great Lakes, or Fishes Great Lakes. Okay. So, this is the one lampi Procatopus I have. This is Procatopus similis. The quotation moniker at the end of the name when I bought them at the LFS was red tail. Not really sure how much meaning that one has, but that's what it said. Let me move the light forward a little bit. So, hopefully you can see the appeal to these. It's a killifish. It's a schooling killifish with a small mouth, very small mouth. And as you can see, not really capable of eating too much. They're kind of chill. But besides that, they're absolutely gorgeous, in my opinion. If you angle the light down and towards them, I'd recommend having a light at the front of the tank that does that in order to really see and appreciate their color, because they got that luminescence to them, and that's why I keep saying they're like the rainbow fish of the killifish, because you see that blue sheen. And some of my males, like this is my alpha male here, he's got basically an orange laser line on the top, and they're very pretty, very nice. So take a step back. This is my main breeding group here of them. Some of them I did raise up at this point because I got the original group like over a year ago now, and most of the original group are in here. I've lost 1 or 2 along the way, but I have more in here than I originally got. And yeah, I would say there's like, wait, let me count. So any ones that are small, like these ones, smaller like these ones, these are all ones that I bred here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all ones that I bred. I had a big group and I put them in too early. I got a bunch eaten. That's kind of a theme with me. I do that a lot. But all right, so I got them here. We've been picking their eggs a lot on stream. This is where I hatch some of them, but I just moved a bunch of fry out. And then I have the fry kind of all over the place, but here's where I put the latest hatching out of the fry. And you can kind of see back there. To me, they're pretty distinct fry. They got a long body. They swim similar enough to the adults. They like swimming at the top. They like swimming into the flow. I do believe they come from faster flowing waters, I believe, or at least they can be found in them. And yeah, I got a good bunch of fry in here, along with the black rice fish fry from Captain, which are there, little black blurs. But yeah, even as a fry, they kind of school together in there. Let me see, I have some. And Sunny G said, nice killies. 186 said, beautiful fish. See, you gotta get into the killies. Over here, I have some slightly bigger fry of theirs with a random P. luminatus but just so you can see some of the different stages. Here's some more fry. So without showing my full hand, you see that I'm at least making more than I'm killing, which is pretty big for me, you know, pretty big for me, huge for the lamprey population. So I like the lampreys. They're kind of getting to be more popular, I've noticed. And not too many people are breeding them. One, because, again, they're just kind of getting more popular. And two, I don't think they're that hard to breed necessarily, but they do take longer to grow. Most people want to breed something that's going to, you know, turn around quickly. Are those a 1 year? No, no. The annuals, even the annuals, a lot of them will last 18 months if you're not keeping them super hot and breeding them all the time. I don't think there's a ton of killifish that really will only just live 1 year. But the lampreys are not annuals. They'll live for a while. I don't know the exact. Let's see what the Google says real quick. Oh, I forgot. Killies and pencilfish is the direction I'm slowly shifting towards. Great categories. I forgot. So I do have, Luis mentioned the finfida. I do have the finfida. I don't got the light pointed directly. Mine are still a little bit young right now. So, but the thing about the finfida is, as you can see, they're similar to the similis and the fact that they're very pretty, etc., etc. But one thing different about them that I think we'll see as they get older is their fins are much more fancy, much longer, got a lot more color in them. So while they do have that iridescent body, very beautiful like the other ones, the males, their fins are quite fancy. So hopefully one of them will flare their fins a little bit, but even with them just kind of dragging behind, I'm going to go back to the similis in a second and you'll see the difference. Okay, so just take a look up. Remember what this looks like, okay? Remember those fins? This guy's looking pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, he's definitely one of the top-notch males in there. Not quite big enough, I think, to be breeding. But then if you see here, even that, my alpha male here, the biggest one, you see that this guy has some pretty nice fins. So while this one I would say is my alpha male, I think that male right here is the prettiest. I'm kind of thinking about pulling him and doing a different line with him as the breeding male. Because look at his fins. He's got much longer fins than the rest of them. Like this one kind of has more triangle fins like that guy. And this guy almost has like a different body shape going on. One thing about them is they can, like you'll see some of them have some damage to their eyes. I think that's from them bumping into things. Only really have that on the ones I got initially because they're older. They can have some mouth fungus issues, again, I think from bumping into stuff. But I've managed to clear that up for the most part over time. And probably if you have an acidic tank, it's not going to be that big of an issue. But anyways, just showing you the difference between the two. So the biggest thing is the fins. So you look at these fins, shorter, shorter, shorter. You look at these guys' fins, boop, 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 and you see they're definitely fancier. They're dragging behind them. They look nice. I've seen some, Bedro said I've seen some red pencilfish. That's better looking than anything I've ever seen. Yeah, the red pencils are really nice. Luis said he's sharp. Nice group. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll have a couple more groups like that soon. I'm trying to make a lot of these guys, so actually I do, looking at that guy does make me want to pull him soon to start line, because I do actually want to line breed them. People don't line breed necessarily killies a ton. I mean, they do with, like, the annuals is one that they do a lot of because, you know, fast life cycle. And the red pencils, they really do look super nice. I think I do have one. One second. Do I have one where we can see? There's one. Very nice fish. So I would say pencils, I haven't gotten into them fully. I've gotten some just to appreciate, to learn more about them. Pencilfish are great. Great nanofish. The nanostomus literally means small mouth. So if you're looking for a fish to keep with shrimp and stuff, pencilfish probably at the top of my list. They're pretty much physically incapable of eating a shrimp that's gotten much bigger. Steve said one of those Congo puffers just bit the shit out of me. Wait, really? I haven't stuck my hand in there. Like, when you say they bit the shit out of you, like, how much did they bite? Like, what are we talking here? You bleeding out? You dying? Should I be careful if I put my hand in there with them? Let me know. I need more information. All right, we'll do a pause from the red on them pencils is super saturated. Yeah, it really is. I don't know where the other ones went, but they're in there. It really is. I would say the Sineppas, a lot of expensive fish are kind of lame, as in they don't really deliver. The Sineppa pencilfish, if you're looking for something small with a lot of color that won't disappoint you, like you look at them and you're like, I get they're mostly expensive because they're limited and all that kind of stuff, but even if you're just paying that much for how nice of a fish they are, it's not disappointing. It's not disappointing. Steve said, I'm bleeding. Oh my gosh. Sonny G said, make sure to wipe. What? Steve said, I was gravel vacuuming in some beach latched on. My goodness. How the Congo's been doing for you otherwise? What have you been feeding them? I don't know if you saw in the Discord, but I don't know, and Luis, you're a fish store owner, so you let me know. I don't know, do people commonly train the Congo puffers to eat prepared foods? Is that a thing? I've been doing some experiments, making some fish foods. As you may know, I even got this cool little scale here, so I can actually measure roughly what my recipes are. And I made a little prepared food that I put in there, and the Congos were eating it happily. So I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. So I wonder, I mean, they're a smarter fish. I kind of wonder if they're one of the ones that people train to eat prepared foods a lot. Steve said, I lost one. They were either fighting or breeding and didn't fare so well. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I still have all four. But I'm gonna build a rack to consolidate things, and then that 50-gallon I got at that one auction with the FX4, I'm gonna set up with the puffers because I do want them in their own situation, or basically a tank I set up for them. Because right now they're in a good tank, but I didn't set up specifically for them. I'd like to make one specifically for them. Two are buddies, but they aren't friendly to each other, to the others. Yeah, they got some dynamics. When I was reading initially about the Congo puffers, it did say, like, you know, they do well in groups as far as so they can establish a hierarchy, whatnot. Honestly, if Jesse still has the Congo puffers, next time I go there, depending on how broke I am, so hopefully it's not anytime soon, but next time I go there, I might have to buy some more. I'm not gonna lie. Steve said it's complicated. Where do you offload your fry? I'll never tell. I'll never tell. Don't look in the nearby waterways. No, joking. I'm trying to make an army. So the Procatopus, I haven't really sold or offloaded many of them because I really want to get a big school going / just a bunch of populations. So any of the lampides I get, I'm gonna give priority in trying to up the numbers. Steve said he makes me buy them all. Come on. A lot of people try. I've tried soft pellets with my potato puffer, and he sometimes likes it. He always preferred wrigglers, though. Some puffers are okay. So it's not too unusual. Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing some homemade fish food experiments. I've identified one ingredient that when I add it, it takes a food from being ignored by things like the puffers to being eaten happily. Now, I'm still lacking on a lot of the fish. Like, I haven't managed to get one that the Elosoma will eat yet. And I haven't gotten one that the baddest, like, love. You know, they'll, like, peck at it, but they don't necessarily love it. But the Congo puffers, I made one that they will eat. So that's something that is positive right there. Okay. So, Killifish. Do I have another one to go through? I don't need to do Killifish for like a billion hours. Let me just look at Aquabid again to jog my memory. And I will say, Mariuz, Mariuz, on Aquabid, always got a lot. This is a fish that was on my list. I'll just do it right now. This fish was on my list. I have it. I'm breeding them. I have, a group I'm breeding up. I got some fry, hopefully some pairs soon. Aphysemian hera. I'm just showing them again. Blue, red. I love that turquoise color. And the females, prettiest females. They got yellow bellies. Mine looks pretty much like this. The bellies get really red. This is actually the location I have. So, very pretty, not too mean. Oh, there we go. This is the location of female I got. So you can see the yellow. I can recommend, because I've actually kept this fish for a while now and bred them. They're not too aggressive. I would say I would have a few of them, ideally, because in groups they'll be a little less shy. But as long as there isn't like a bully fish around, you're going to see the females of these actually seem to be out and about all the time. For some reason, the male is the guy that's like more in the shadows, like a creep. I don't know what's up with him, but hey, a fish is gonna fish. Sunny G said, I like the plain look of the female Killies. Yo, this man's looking for the plain Janes. I mean, it's a subtle beauty to them, honestly. I do agree. Okay. This isn't the Lewins. This one is good. That's not the one I'm looking for. This is the one I'm looking for. Fundula panchex cinnamomus. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. It's got to have some blue. But the blues and the yellows, I like. I like things that got borders on the fins. It just seems like a nice fish to me. This looks dope. I like that. And I like this. Let me see what the picture is. Again, I wouldn't put this one on my buy now list because actually it's listed pretty regularly on Aquabid, so I haven't pulled the trigger yet, especially since I'm on a no fish buy right now. But there we go. Yeah, this is a nice fish. Come on. And also, if we're talking about fish that's good for planted tanks, man, some of these colors they hype up, it's not even the best for the planted tank. Like the contrast, you'll want something that's not a color in the background. And the thing about yellow, which I've realized with the yellow Neocaridina, is yellow is actually a pretty underrated color for planted tanks. It does stand out when you got a nice bright yellow, especially if the rest of the fish is kind of understated. It's just like a cool effect. You just got like the yellow highlights on the fins. Very pretty. So, all right. Yeah, this is on the list for sure. We got Fundula panchex cadius right here. No, I'm joking. Ada is coming to say hi. Say hi, Ada. Say hi. Oh my goodness. What do you think of this killifish, Ada? No? You don't want this one? Okay, well, it is what it is. Your loss. Your loss, I guess. Silly cat. How many killies have you kept? Okay, here we go. Let me see what I can remember from memory. Aphysemian George, Fundula panchex Gardner IP82, Fundula panchex Gold, Fundula panchex Suggesti, the dwarf regularis, basically Aphysemian bivitatum funge, Procatopus similis, the Finfida Procatopus, Aphysemian hera, it's an Archosemian petersi. Quick, I gotta look around and see them. I forget what this rivulet is called behind me. Aphysemian gabuins. There we go. Crap. My brain. Oh, Fundulopanchex amieti. Okay. Epiplades verlafi. Epiplades lamati. I guess technically. I still have some of those, but I ended up trading them with John because I wasn't feeling their vibe. I gotta be honest. The Northobranchius, I'm blanking on the second part of the name that I got from Aaron. Ephesimian Sheili Red Dot. Although, for some reason, I bred a few of them, but I'm not having the success I've had with some of the other. Wait, did I say Ephesimian Sheili? No, that's a Fundulopanchex. I don't know if I said that correctly or not. The Creek Bulgur. Yeah, the Creek Bulgur Riffless. Can't remember the name of the Riffless behind me. I'm blanking on it. And then what else? I might be close to it. The Yamada. The Yamada, that's the native killifish. And then the bluefins. The bluefin killifish. Man, what else? That might be... Oh, Ephesimian Gabuins. Yeah, okay. I mean, if I forgot one or two, I feel like that's enough. That's why I like the Pelvica chromis Drachenfelsi, that yellow pops. Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. Beto Great Lakes said, everything he said sounded like a single word. I knew two of those. I mean, you saw how I struggled. I barely knew them myself, so. I barely knew them myself. All right. Killifish. We've done it. We've done the killifish thing. And we're going back to the phone cam because I gotta make good on my title. I'm about to make myself, look how small I'm about to make myself. You'll never even get to see my face. I'm just in the corner, commentating. Well, I know who to ask about Killies. I mean, you can ask, but I'll never tell. Now, breeding report. I've had some success, some great success with some breeding stuff. Finally, I'm slowly actually making more fish than I am slaughtering. What a time to be alive. I used to pray for times like this to get like this, to be a hobbyist and make some fish. Now, we're moving the cam because the first breeding report I'm pleased to announce. And if I can see any, I might have to drop, oh, I see one, okay. This is one that I technically bred a while ago, but I got them eaten, and I at least see one, so we're gonna show it. But I have successfully bred some Caridina shrimp, the crystal reds, and in the dwarf hairgrass there, in the mome, not a sponsor, you see that white with a little red blur. That is a crystal red shrimp that was birthed in this tank that I am raising up. There are a few more of them in there. But yes, that's going to be 15 points for me in the Breeders' Award Program competition. So we're looking strong already just off the shrimp. And I haven't even bapped the yellow shrimp that I got. And they're eating some spirulina, getting green looking, but I have quite a few of those, so that's 25 points right there. Next update happens to be next door. Someone tell me what this plant is on the ground. I don't know what it is. I bought it at PVAS. It was a presentation about plants. The guy told me what it was. I don't remember. I think it's a native plant. Not sure, but swimming in the background is a Corydoras cystatus. The crazy thing is I went to London town. I wasn't ready to pull the trigger. I bought 3 speculatively. 1 died. Turns out the remaining 2 were a pair. Yesterday, I saw them laying eggs. So, don't got eggs necessarily to show. Don't got fry necessarily to show. All I can say is the Corydoras cystatus are breeding. That counts as an update, a breeding update. And so I'm going to talk about it. Number 3. We have this breeder box. Is the update the 2 killies in the back? Oh, I forgot about this. This is the Fundulus cingulatus. That's another killifish that I have. I forgot about those. This is another native, 3 Mile Creek, Alabama. Very pretty. I got some eggs from them. Might have some fry. Can't quite tell. Speaking of fry that I can't quite tell, I'm looking for the ones that are in here. Okay, here's one. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it. I'm trying my best. Where'd you go? Oh wait, he's moved over here. Okay, see that little speck? That little speck on the black of that sponge. Even though it doesn't look like much, that speck, that's right there, is a Congo tetra fry. I have a few of them in this breeder box. There's a few eggs down here. Some of those black dots are eggs developing, ready to hatch out. We got some Congo tetras. Bacon. That's number 3. Okay, so congrats. At the moment, I have more shrimp that I could shake a twig at. Very nice, very nice. Gotta go mobile for this last one. Taking the laptop with me. So we got Congo tetras. We got crystal reds. What was the other one? What was the other one, guys? Help me. It was oh, the Chores. Okay. Number 4, the most exciting one is the dwarf pikes. All right. The dwarf pikes. Their fry have hatched out. They're swimming all over the place. I'm trying to see if I can actually see their fry. They do herd the fry back into the cave from time to time. If that's the case, I have some videos of the fry, and I'm not seeing the fry right now. Let's see. You seeing any? They're growing very fast. And one cool thing about the fry, so you see how the adults are. You see that faint black line kind of going across the body, I guess lateral line situation. The fry already kind of have a black line around them. And there's quite a few of them. So, real quickly, I'm gonna pull up a video since the fry are not here live for me to show you. Pikes are really cool to watch. Yes, and I would say these parents are giving the cribs a run for their money, man. Very good parents. Very good parents going down with the pikes. To the point where I've had to remove all the other fish in there. And I lost one because I didn't remove it soon enough. And they chased it out of the tank. So that's on me. That is on me. But very exciting. I'm pulling up a video. SVC said just ordered a pair of Elisoma okafinokis. Nice. Do you know what location? Because I got a female that has no male for it. So up for grabs, as they say. Up for grabs. Looking for a video of the pikes real quick and their fry that I can pull up here. And then that'll conclude the breeding report for now. I might have a little bit more, but you know, you can't just show it all at once. You know what I mean? You can't just show it all at once. Steve's asks, how is the Nanochromis doing? Oh yeah. How are they doing? Don't tell me they got some damn fry or anything already. I don't want to hear that. Ah, Ada. Ada, there's no space. Bruh. Ada, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. She's trying to sit in my lap while I'm using the laptop. This is actually not going to work, Ada. This is not going to work. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, dwarf pikes, Congo tetras. Actually, stir-by. Got some stir-by eggs and fry finally. My stir-by laying eggs, it seems, with semi-regularity. Not like a billion eggs at once, but I'm collecting some here or there. So hopefully stir-by will be making its way to BAP as well. So I guess the easiest way to go about doing a real breeding report update. And oh, here you go. Here's some video of the pikes up on the screen. So I got that to work. So you can see here, quite a cloud of fry just floating around the parents, chilling out. And yeah, that is pretty much all I got as far as they go. But looks like they got a lot of fries, so if a bunch of them make it, then I'm gonna be rocking and rolling. Steve said, is there any meetings this weekend? I don't think so. I mean, there's not any I was planning on going to. I know that ACM is doing an aquarium trip for their meeting, I think on the 14th. So, if you're a member, you get free admission to the National Aquarium. Check it out. Could be fun. Could be fun. So, as I'm going to conclude my breeding reports often, let's refer to the BAP point sheet, because we have a new goal. My goal of BAP domination is to get 200 points in October, because since there's no auction going on for this month of September, I have a little bit more time. So, real quickly, help me do the math as I go through these. But let's see what we're working with point-wise. What I think we could get to help us on that path to 200. Okay? Ready? Set? Go. So, first, we could beg and plead and pray that I get 4 half-beak fry by then 2 months. Totally possible. I got at least the adults of the celebs half-beaks. That would be 20 points. So, someone write that down. We got 20 points on the board. I do technically have the wrestling half-beaks. This is more speculative. If we got these, then that potentially could be 15 points on the board. Actually, let me look at the celebs half-beak Latin name, because maybe it's not 20 points. Normal, Homphis. I'm not seeing that on here, actually. This one just says half-beaks. So, I don't know. We'll have to revisit that. So maybe 30 points between the two of them. All right. I have some bettas. I have some very nice wild bettas. I traded a pair of my Albemarle Jornada for a pair of the Rubra, the betta Rubra. So I believe the betta Rubra is 20 points, I think. It's saying betta species not listed in C or D. So okay, maybe it is 15 points, but is the betta Rubra a Chores species? So let's see. Chores species, betta. All right, let's see. Maybe not. So we might be 15 points on that. Okay, so let's say 45 points potentially so far. Not the worst, but we're gonna have to run it up a bit more than that. Steve asked, am I going to the aquarium thing? Probably not. Oh, I missed. You said your macrostoma, the male has a big mouthful. You better put me on the pre-order list for some of those fry, my friend. I'm saving my left kidney just for that. And that's a 20-point fish, by the way. So, if you want to enter the race one day. All right. Speaking of points, Haplosoma over here. 15 points. I'm hoping to have longfin panda Corey, so that would be 15 points, bring us to 60 points. Then I'm hoping to have the stir-by. So stir-by Corey, let's check that Latin name. I think that is a, okay, it says corridor stir-by. I think that might be 15 points, if I'm reading this correctly. That brings us to 75. So almost halfway to our goal, 200 points. But we're gonna have to keep rocking. And again, it's not a given. We're gonna have to have the stars align for this to work out. But if we, let's see, Histatus, what is the Histatus Latin name? Corridor Histatus, that could be 15 points. If we get fried from the Histatus, which is possible since they're laying eggs, that would be another 15 points. So we could be at 90 points. What's the rule of color morphs? Yeah, unique color morphs, you can keep doing the species if it's like a distinct, like super red is different than like a common, than like an albino situation. You can get points for them separately. Excuse me. Okay, Cherisons. So let's look up Congo tetra. Let's see the Latin name for that. We got the Phoenicogrammus interruptus. Phoenicogrammus, that's 20 points. I definitely think I'll have 4 Congo tetras. We'll put it down for 20 points. That brings us to 110 points if all the stars align, as we've been saying so far. But I'm not done. I'm not done yet with the West African fish, because I believe I will have 4 Barbarus fasciatus at that point. The blue-banded barb. Sorry, fasciolatus. I believe I'll have 4 of these at the time. So let's see what the points for that. We're at 110 so far. Let's see, Barbarus. Where's the barb? That should be. Let's see. Barbodes is 15. But over here it says Barbatula. Like, what the hell is that? No, it's not that. Okay, let's see. Barbodes. Okay, yeah. So 15 points. So 125, I believe, with the barbs coming into the mix. Now, guppies. Yeah, you can do different strains of guppies, but the guppies are only 5 points. So you'd have to really run it up with the color morphs, but you could. You absolutely could do it with the guppies. And speaking of different, I'm glad, you know what? I'm glad that you brought this up. I'm glad that you brought this up because, speaking of color morphs, I believe by then we will have the black Badaka. That would be 10 points, 135. Then I believe that we will have some orange longfin Madaka, which would be 145. We're at 145 if all the stars align correctly. Okay? Another possible one, the Vietnamese white clouds. Why did I say white, man? White clouds. The Vietnamese white clouds, Tanthixis Mikagime. Sure, that's how you say it. Let's see. How many points these would be? 10 points, but they are a care species, I believe. That would be 15 points. So that would bring us to 150. We are so close to the goal of 200 points. And I'm not even listing all the possibles, okay? This is one possible path. Not necessarily what will actually happen, but it could be. All right? Now, I haven't technically bapped the Fundamental Panchex Gardner IP82s. I think I could have 4 of those by October. That would be another 10 points, 160 points. We're getting a little bit closer to our goal here. And there is one more killifish that I believe I will have by then. 1 second. Let me just look up the name because I really can't say it properly. All right. I believe I could have 4 of the Rivulus pividae. Yes. I believe this fish here. I guess mine kind of look like that. Very interesting variation here in this search. The Rivulus are hard because a lot of them are undescribed. So this is like a specific. Let's see, COL. It's 0828. See if there's an Aquabid listing or something. But yeah, I think I'll have some of this by then. I think I'll have 4. And let's just see where the Rivulus are on here. I think it's gonna be 15 points maybe. It's kind of hard to tell because the Rivulus I only see one species specifically named here. But let's just say 15 points. That brings us, what are we, 175? Okay, 175. Almost for our goal of 200. How do I want to make it the rest of the way? Let me think. It would be great if I had 4 of the Aphysemian Gabber wins by then. I think that could be possible. That brings us to 190. And then what do I want to do for the last 10 points? The last 10 points. Oh, man. Oh! I didn't even put the crystal red shrimp. Okay, that would be a Caridina SB. Over here in the 15-point column in the C, that's 15 points. So, 205 points. There is a hypothetical path to a 205-point month. And that, I think, will really put us in a strong contention to solidify that #1 spot that we've been gunning for. So, as I look around, I see killifish laying eggs. I see things going wild in the room. I see Chores swimming up and down, up and down. So, I am hoping that this will be when we make sure people know exactly what we mean. What do we mean? Business. That's what we mean. We mean business. So, that's the breeding report. Now, let's get into this other thing in the title. We're cleaning up. We're doing all the things I promised, Let me make good. Disappointing LFS. I put in the corner there. I kept the slightly negative things towards the later part of the stream. I happened to go today to the Maryland State Fair. Went to the Maryland State Fair. It was fun. Didn't see too many fish there. Did see otters. They were MAGA otters, actually, but that's a whole different story. A little bit too much into local. If you go to the Maryland subreddit, you'll see what I mean. But there's some fun stuff. Saw a really cool etymology collection that someone had entered into the fair. Tried some different foods and things like that. But I know what you're thinking. Well, you didn't see that many fish there. What does this have to do with absolutely anything that I would care about? Well, and I'm putting on the screen this etymology collection that I saw there that I thought was cool. There was 151 specimens and I think 16 orders, I believe. But the Maryland State Fair's in Timonium happens to be located near a fish store, LFS CTE Aquatics. Now, CTE, I do feel like it has a bit of a saltwater lean to it. I've talked about this store on stream before. One of the first LFSs I really went to because the Maryland Aquarium Hobbyist meeting used to be at the store. I believe the guy that worked there, Tanner at the time, I believe he no longer works there. At the time he worked there, and I think that's why the meetings were held there. Their RPP for the co-op, they got a good frozen food selection. They got a good Red Sea aquarium selection if you're rich. And yeah, they seem to have a lot of saltwater stuff. Never really liked the freshwater selection. They're too much, so there wasn't really much reason for me to go. But it was within walking distance of the Maryland State Fair, so I was like, why not go to check out, see if it's any better than the last time I went. So let's go through this store a little bit together. You will see what I saw. Okay, so let me change my little screen share thing. Boop it boop it boop boop. All right. So one thing about CTE, I gotta give them credit for, and let me make this bigger and make myself tinier, is I don't know if I forget if they do installs or service, but I feel like they do, because they have a good amount of like show tanks. So like here's one I like a lot. It's got some Congo Tetras, which I'm big fans of in it. It's got some rainbow fish, some of the blue ones, very pretty. It's got this other more showy tank where it's just, a lot of plants, a lot of stuff going on. A little discus here I took a photo of. Here's here's one of their plant tanks. And one thing I gotta say is that they're again doing that kind of thing that's a little bit harder to do, which they have plants in a lot of the livestock tanks, okay? And if any of my store owners are in here, you can give me your opinion on. I know Luis has talked about how hard it is to have plants in the tanks with the livestock. Sometimes it does kind of lean towards the tank being harder to maintain, look nice. Like this tank here, they're selling stuff out of it. It's cool. It's got plants. It was a little hard to see what was going on in there. This is just like they got the reef foods going on. Here's one of the frozen food fridges. Here's some of the coop sponges. I haven't seen any of the fine filter aquarium co-op sponges in any of the partner stores I've gone to yet. Because I want to try them, but I'm not willing to order and pay shipping, because I'd have to order other stuff. I'm not willing to do that right now. But I'm waiting to see a fine filter sponge somewhere. And another notable thing is, this is a retail partner store to the extent where it looks like either they've bought a bunch of the filters from the coop or they've been sent a bunch, because most of their sponges seem to be aquarium co-op. Although I didn't see the Easy Flow kit on any of them. Wonder why. But, all right. Let me go to the next little thing here. Here you can see, and this is going to go to my disappointment part. This is just a little backstory, but you see one thing about the store that is very nice is that they have a lot of these, and because they do the salt water, maybe they've done some servicing stuff in the past. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this is the vibe that I get. They got a lot of tanks that are drilled, got auto water systems in them. They seem very proficient with that kind of thing. And here it looks like they just got some new tanks because it's got the sticker on them. We got the bulkheads in the back. It's drilled. They're setting those up. And here's the picture of it looked like they're in the process of setting up sponges for the store. Here's the picture of co-op sponges in the freshwater section. So here's some tanks from the freshwater section. And you can see, I think they look pretty nice with the kind of live plant stuff going in there. So I gotta say, it does look pretty nice. I do like it. And they got some nice stands here with the lights above, and it's easy to see. I'm conflicted on the writing the prices on the tank thing. I think it's kind of nice. It makes sense on the workload front because they don't have to print out a sticker, I guess, and put it on there. But I do kind of like the stickers with the size on it and the picture and the information and stuff. And sometimes when you get to some of the tanks that are like this, where you have like 4 things written, it does start to get to the level where it interferes with actually seeing the things inside of the tank. So that is one downside of stuff being on the tanks. So like I don't necessarily mind it. I get it, but I don't know. Get a label printer or something, man. That's kind of how I feel. Let's get a label printer or something. They've got employees in there. You guys can figure it out. Again, it's not the worst. It's not that bad. House of Tropicals has some horrendous handwritten prices and names, depending on who wrote it down. Sometimes it is really difficult, especially if, I used to go with my grandpa. He can never read that stuff. So this is not that. It's very nicely written, very clear. But sometimes when it got to a lot of stuff in one tank, it was kind of like, okay, guys, let's get the stickers at the bottom. Let's not draw on the front of the tank if we don't have to. That'd be nice. But so some thread fin rainbows. Those are ones that have been on my list to do one day. Here's another picture. I thought this was a nice tank. It's got some crayfish in it. It's got some swordtails. Just really nice looking tanks. It's not drab. It's not empty. It doesn't got that blue nostalgic background. Some of them look like tanks you could actually have in your house. It's not like they're super planted with all the line of sight breaks, but like if you're just starting out, this is probably what your tank could look like, and it's like a nice clean look. I can't say anything bad about it. Got some Celebs rainbows. I got some Von Rio Tetras. Those look cool. Got the Neon Tetra tank, of course. Liberty Mollies made their way in here. There's one picture I'm hoping comes up that I'm going to need your help figuring this one out, because does anyone know what fish this is? They just wrote on their cichlid. It just says cichlid, 10 each. I have no idea which cichlid this is. I mean, maybe if I stared long enough, I could guess, but like, I need more information. Does anyone know which cichlid this is? I'm sure someone knows. But yeah, cichlid, 10 each. It's a hard sell for me, but hey, I guess if you don't know, fair enough. These are the CPDs. I always got to take a picture of the CPDs. I actually didn't really look too close, so I don't got much to say. They look fine. They look good. Okay. Oh, they had these are the signifer. They were hiding behind the filter, but they had some signifers in there, so a decent amount of rainbows. Here's a Java Moss tank, $8 a handful. Some Java Moss. I'm not a big Java Moss fan, but I like Christmas. If I'm doing a moss, I think Christmas moss I like, and Ada is determined to make it, so I can't do anything. She's now laying directly on my hand that is trying to operate the computer. So if I struggle, it's because of the cat. Now, this is where I was really disappointed. The beta wall. Now, I'm not even a big beta activist kind of a person, but I've been here before a while ago and they had this beta wall, and I just don't understand what it is. If you're a local fish store, why you would not want to do better than Petco with the betas, because it was not looking good for the betas in these cups. Some of the cups were pretty disgusting. Some of the betas were probably going to be dead soon. And the reason why it was mostly disappointing, besides the fact that you would hope any LFS would do better than this, a lot of stores now have those small beta cups, but it's got the water system on it. Like, a lot of stores have that, smaller stores than this with less employees. But the worst thing on top of it is I'm looking around at a store full of automated water systems and drill tanks and all this stuff, and I'm just like, you couldn't figure out a way to set up your own little beta system with all this expertise that seemingly seems to be around. So the only thing I can conclude is you just don't care enough to do it. And this is one beta that just had some weird looking spikes. I don't know that much about betas, and I'm not a huge beta activist, but it was sad to see some betas obviously not doing well. look, I don't want to see any beta cup that like you can see the water levels. If we zoom out to some of the other cups, you can see the water levels a bit higher in some of these. This one is lower, kind of feels like it's been there a minute. There's tons of shit building up on the bottom. It's fucking gross, bro. And this is the one right next to the door when you walk in. So like if you go out here, that cup I just showed you is on this right shelf. So when you walk in the door and you look to the right, this is the cup that I saw first, was this one. With all the shit in there, the beta looking horrendous. Very sad, as I would be too. So to me, the store is enough out of the way where I wouldn't really go to it anyway. They don't generally have fish that I'm that into. I don't know if they have any shrimp. I didn't see any shrimp. I might have missed it. Honestly, I might have missed it. But they got a decent dry goods selection. But honestly, this to me, I have local fish stores I could go to that treat their fish better. So I'm just gonna go to those. That's kind of how I feel. It's kind of how I feel about House of Tropicals. Like, I get my dry goods there, but I'm not buying any fish at House of Tropicals because the fish that I get from there not done as well as I've gotten from other places. And I go in there and I see things that I don't necessarily like on that front. But it's like the biggest store around. It's got the most dry goods and stuff, so I'm always going to go there for that. Got to give them. They have a great selection. And House of Tropicals just redid their plant thing within the last year or so. They got a great plant selection. Not many stores have a whole row of just plants. Like, it's just plant tanks, a whole row. It's fucking awesome, you know? And that's one thing that comes with having a lot of employees. There's an employee that really spearheaded that and set up the plants. Really cool guy. I've talked to him a few times. But, you know, their fish, not looking so hot, not as treated as I would like. So, you know, I don't buy fish from there. That's just me. So when I go to a store like this and they're selling $3,500 Red Sea tanks and stuff, and they seem to have some high-end situations and resources, but then I see this very sad betta wall of bettas and dirty cups not doing well next to automated water change systems for every single tank in the place. And it's like the betas just have this outdated betta wall thing where some of the LED strips are falling off and not even on. Well, is that a betta that's actually just dead in the cup there that I didn't notice? I thought that cup was empty. Yeah. I mean, do I really need to say more? So I have to say I will not be returning. I was actually going to buy some dry goods stuff, but honestly, that was disappointing. So I may as well go to Petco at that point if I want to see some dying fish in cups. So, but I got to give them credit for all the stuff that's good. I do think their tanks look really nice. For the freshwater systems, you can see clearly they're competent in building things. They got some nice water lines, bulkheads, all the good stuff, efficient use of space. That's kind of what makes this beta wall all the more disappointing to me, is because it just feels like just a lack of care. So, to me, that says enough where I'm like, well, there's stores I can go to that don't leave fish dying in cups, so I'm going to go to those stores. So that's about the end of that. Now, how's everyone feeling? How we doing? Checking in real quick. We're all chilling. All right, we're all chilling. Going back to my YouTube shenanigans. I happen to be on my For You page for the YouTubes, and I came across KG Tropical's live stream, and the title was very interesting. The title was the same as this video we see here. YouTuber fish rooms were unrealistic. I'm not going to play this whole video, but I found this to be pretty hilarious. He was reacting to this video, and there are two hilarious things about it. One, I have no idea how he saw this. It had like under 100 views when he was watching it on stream. He and Lisa commented on it, and the kid that made it is so fragile, he's already turned the comments off and put a description. Please don't come to my channel to spread hate. If you watch YouTubers who have fish, you might notice all the giant ponds and unrealistic tanks being shown for clicks and popularity. So,
hey, what up, guys? Welcome.
I'm gonna play like 30 seconds of this, and I think you'll get the gist of what's going on. But I have a few comments just in general.
Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back to my fish room. If you guys are new to the channel, I have a whole bunch of fish tanks, and I like to make videos on it and talk about random topics. Today's video is a little controversial and a little weird, but I wanted to talk about why YouTuber fish rooms and fish tanks kind of suck. I've spent a lot of my life keeping fish.
Alright, so that's basically all we have to watch to get the gist of the video. He's basically complaining YouTube fish channels suck, their tanks are unrealistic, they're thousands and thousands of dollars, and they also don't actually care about the fish are in terrible tanks and all this kind of stuff. 3 things off the bat. 1, I agree. As far as, I do think a lot of YouTube fish channels suck. Totally agree with that. 2, this is obviously a very young person, so look, we got to temper our comments here. Like, it's someone that's obviously probably still in their teens, so like, not gonna go super crazy on the kid. And I'm not too surprised he turned off the comments and stuff, because let's be real, he got a relatively large YouTube channel doing an entire live stream about just him, so I'm sure that was overwhelming. But at the same time, welcome to the internet. But the first thing he said that made me so funny about how their fish tanks are unrealistic and terrible. 1 second.
Suck. I've spent a lot of my life now that a whole fish community has spiked almost overnight on YouTube, and now there's so many people keeping fish on YouTube, I just thought I would talk about it.
Okay, let me just pause it here. Mikim, hi Nick and everyone almost sleeping over here. Watch the cichlids you asked for a name on. Looked like some kind of Visha SP to me. Was that type of pistol? I don't know what, it was cichlid. Okay, here's the better question. Are they worth $10? Are they worth the mystery buy? Now, the funny part about this video, here's a few highlights. So one, he says, I've been keeping fish my entire life, which some people might laugh because he's young. They're like, what is that, like 2 years? But I mean, I've only been keeping fish 2 years, so who am I to say? Another thing he said he grew up watching Aquarium Co-op, who shows you how to do fish the right way. And a lot of it was talking about how people do fish the wrong way. Now, you tell me if this tank looks like the right way. This tank we're looking at right now, while he's commenting on the other fish tanks, it's like one of the most unhinged things I've ever seen. That's why I commented on this before I removed the comments. I said, this is great rage bait. Because he's, no pisto, they get really big, 30 centimeters or so. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. He's critiquing other people's fish tanks and stuff, and he's got this hexagon tank with like, looks like at least 2 angelfish in it. Okay, 2 angelfish in it, and then just basically every other fish under the sun in this whirlpool hellscape of a tank. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, I haven't even talked about the knife fish that looks like it's screaming to be released from its cage on the right. But one of the main premises of this is fish rooms are unrealistic, you know, they cost too much money, but then plus they're not even doing it the right way. My brother in Christ, what is right about what I'm seeing right now? You know what? This is what people, they'll be like, my fish kill each other. I don't understand. Like, I had them in a heavily planted tank. This is what they're talking about. When they say heavily planted, this is what they're talking about. You got this one sad thing in the middle and this horn wart. or maybe no, and maybe a Nacris, I don't know, floating in the top right corner, and then it's just an absolute nightmare. I mean, bro, he's got the humpback of Notre Dame in the tank. Look at this. Look at this fish. What the hell is that? Is anyone else seeing this right here? Are you seeing this, bro? Humpback of Notre Dame. Yeah, man. Look at this shit. Look at this, okay? And then look at the fish. It's basically a 1-for-1. It's basically 1-for-1, okay? We got Chores in here too. Oh yeah, this is a layered tank. We got all the top dwellers. Looks like some, I don't even know. I'm just distracted by the humpback. It's so distracting. Yeah. I don't want to look. I'm not a perfect fish keeper. I made plenty of mistakes. I'm making mistakes now. I'm sure I got some questionable stocking going on. This is diabolical. That's why I said this got to be rage bait. Okay. On top of that, I'm not a monster fish guy, so people that keep bigger fish are gonna have to tell me.
Video about getting the views, and then that's pretty much it from there. They're making a super crazy clickable video and thumbnail, and then that's it.
So super clickable video and thumbnail. We got a rage bait thumbnail here. YouTube rooms are unrealistic, and thumbnail. So he's basically doing everything that he complains about.
They're really not in.
And yeah, the plastic plants on deck. Here we have what looks like a tank.
They're really not in.
Maybe it's a 55. It looks pretty narrow, so maybe a 55 here.
Clickable.
It's got an
video
Oscar in
thumbnail, and then that's it. They're really not.
That's an Oscar in the corner here.
Not in.
What is that? A Starry Night cichlid? I don't know what these are. Maybe that's some kind of
In the
parrot.
fish
I don't know what the stocking situation is on that.
hobby, I find.
And then over here we got what looks like a 40 breeder with a giant ass. Is that a
if you watch a lot of these guys, they don't know anything about fish.
Looking like it's ready to hang itself. This fish is depressed. It's sitting here watching this kid sleep, praying for the day that it stops. Praying for the day that the kid wakes up and finally decides to put it in a tank where it can stretch his legs.
Fish keeping.
Look at this thing. Now, what I can say about that fish is at least this fish looks like it's supposed to be ugly as hell with a humpback. Can't say the same for whatever genetic experiment abomination is in this hexagon hellscape over here. Now, I'm just going to let the kids, and again, I'm keeping it, this is all light and lighthearted fun, you know. But even if you're a kid, even if you're an elderly person, even if you have a mental illness, a physical illness, you're differently abled, if you put a video on the internet, you're liable for some feedback, okay? And especially if your video is providing negative feedback against a wide variety of people, because he never specifies who he's talking about, which you know I hate. I hate when people say, oh, these fish YouTubers, these blah, 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 they do all this bad stuff. See, if I'm making the video, you just got to name them. Yet basically the KG Tropicals never makes a video about you because now he can't include himself in that because you've said exactly what you're talking about. Well, I'll throw out MD Fish Tanks. I hate that channel. I think that he's making content slop. I think there's an argument to be made for fish abuse when you're just randomly deconstructing tanks and reconstructing them for content. He doesn't give a damn about really the fish inside of the tanks. All right, there you go. That's my hot take. That's my opinion. But I named a specific person. Now, if I just said, these fish YouTubers, they never do blah 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 blah. Now it's like 100 people that can be offended. But if you actually specify the people you're talking about, much less chance of lashback about it. Okay, and there's something hilarious about saying don't come to my channel to spread hate. You get what you put out. There's gonna come a day someday soon where someone makes a video about how terrible I am, because I go on live and we do some positive things. We talk about some things that are great. We talk about things that are not great. We do some critiques. I've opened myself up for critique. It's all fair game. You know, I'm not gonna disable my comments and say, don't bring hate to my channel, as if I had nothing to do with the situation. At the beginning of the video, he says, this is gonna be controversial. When I commented saying nice rage bait, he was like, I don't understand why people are mad. And I responded, I was like, really? You say a whole group of people suck and you don't understand why people might be mad? And then he disabled his comments. So, well, let me play
they will have a fish tank that is worth $50,000 with fish in it that are probably worth $20,000. And
I just want to know, he says they have tanks that, and obviously probably exaggerating, probably not being literal, but $50,000 tanks with $20,000 fish. What are we, like the Yakuza laundering money through koi fish purchases? Where in the holy hell is a $20,000 fish that any YouTuber has? Some of these fish tubers got money. They ain't got money like that. Come on, bro. They ain't got money like that. $20,000, $70,000 aquarium setup. I want to know what YouTubers you're talking about. Are you talking about the National Aquarium? Because what?
They just post the video like nothing, and to them it really doesn't mean anything. But when you're an average fish keeper like myself, and
I just want to say, when you're an average fish keeper like myself, I hate to break it to you, my friend, but we've got like, what, 4 or 5 tanks in this video? Most of them seem above 20 gallons. You're not an average fish keeper. I hate to break it to you. You've already invested plenty of money into this where you're above the average. Don't sell yourself short, my friend.
You watch these videos, it really just turns me off the fish keeping.
Look at that nice
and the whole internet thing.
Mick said, look at that nice fish in its natural pride. Mick said he should share his fish and say what he wants to do in his takes. King Nino says definitely not average. That's what I'm saying.
Because the whole point is them just making a video about getting the views, and then that's pretty much it from there. They're making a super crazy clickable video and thumbnailable. They're making a super crazy clickable.
Now,
pretty much
I got fish that flash relatively regularly. I haven't been able to figure it out. These barbs are constantly flashing. I don't really know why. I do think flashing can be just a benign itch. I do think some fish do it after water changes. I do think some fish do it to kick up food or dominance, but there is just something funny
about
it
from there. They're making a super crazy clickable.
Fucking slam its body against this plastic plant while in the background we got the humpback fish swimming around in a tank that is horrendously stocked. I mean, I should just take a clip of this and post it to Reddit like, hey, what do you guys think of my stocking? I might actually do that. I might actually do that because I would love to see what the aquariums Reddit would say about this fish tank. Oh my God, bro. Disable comments, he might have to delete his channel. He might have to delete his channel. He might have to change his address.
Crazy click and good heaters. Buying the correct fish that are peaceful. And it's just a...
Like, look at this pan is so crazy. Look.
They preach about having good filtration, good heaters, buying the correct fish that are peaceful. And it's just a very...
As he talks about how he wishes they weren't hypocritical and actually following advice about, you know, buying the right heaters and stuff for their fish, he just pans from this Thunderdome all the way over to the clownfish depression pit. This man looks like he's in solitary confinement serving 25 to life. The imagery versus what he's saying is one of the, like, I think this video, and let me link it in the chat if you guys want to watch the whole thing yourself. I find this video to be pure entertainment. I wish there were more videos like this because this is funny as hell. This is really
very
funny.
Different thing when you go to YouTube and you see these people building thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Similar stuff to what I have going on, just a small fish room.
Just a small fish room? Bro, do you think everyone's got 300 gallons in their bedroom? You're one of us. One of us. One of us.
But at the end of the day, these YouTubers are just making videos for the clicks. You know,
What exactly is this video being made for? Just curious.
they just want you to click the video like magic money that they can just build whatever they want, the craziest pawns, the coolest stuff.
Wait, he's mad that people have magic money? I know you're young, bro, but some people have what we call a JOB. JOBs, also known as jobs, are things that you acquire, you work at, and you earn this magic money. And the crazy thing is, if you actually have a JOB that you're working at regularly, you might have some extra money to spend on your hobbies, your passions, to actually get some benefit from your hard work. So instead of the magic money, you should be looking for the magic job applications. And then maybe you too could fill out a fish room. But at the same time, it's not like what we're looking at is exactly cheap. You have a ginormous clown knife fish here. You got, you know, a 50-40 breeder with a light, with a lid. You got another big tank with a light and a lid. You got tons of fish. If you're not doing deals on Marketplace and stuff, we're easily looking at over $1,000 sunk into this hobby already. So where's your magic money coming from? I don't know. The cardboard sign at the side of the road does get a lot of people far. JOB, remember.
Ponds, the coolest stuff. But when you go to an actual fish keeper's house, it's not like that. It's normally a bunch of 10 gallons because that's all they could get. It's normally just a bunch of tanks in like a garage, and there's no light in the garage. You know what I mean? When you're actually in the hobby and meet people from the hobby, it's so much different from what is on YouTube. Now, at the same time, I love YouTube for that. I post...
See, this is where he's so wrong. Because the crazy thing is, if you go and meet people in person that are in the hobby, their shit's even wilder than what's on YouTube. You think what on YouTube is crazy? Bro, people with a lot of that magic money got insane setups that they're never posting anywhere because they just enjoy it and they just have the money to spend on it. Like, you'll see some of the craziest stuff in the world when you meet quote-unquote real hobbyists that are just keeping fish as their hobby and going to meetings and not posting about it anywhere. Half the people in the chat on live streams are some of the people I'm describing. Like, you got Audra, just some random person on YouTube. She's breeding puffers. You know, that's not a typical thing that you see all the time. You know, Jody P, now she's got a company, but she's only been in 2 years. That's a real hobbyist. Got 1 billion tanks. She's not really posting on YouTube about them making 1 billion videos. You know what I mean? So just to say that you go to, you know, real hobbyists, like if you're calling yourself a hobbyist, I also hate to break it to you, you're not really the average fish keeper anyway, because the average fish keeper is not part of their identity to that level. Like, I just think you're underestimating how deep into the niche you already are, just by the fact that you're saying the words you're saying. Just One More Fish says, what channel is this? Stone Aquatics? Of course, we got Jorge commenting in here somehow. I don't know how Jorge is always everywhere. Let's see what he said. Let's see what the words of wisdom were. I lost my tab. Here we go. Oh wait, I can't see the comment because he turned the comments off. Yo, this is wild, man. This is some wild fragility. But again,
build what
young guy.
Meet people from. I love posting videos about my fish room, and I definitely
rate the stocking. What do you guys think? Mick said, look at that night. No one is perfect, but to put angels and barbs together isn't exactly showing he's aiming for the correct nature tank. Yeah, he said he grew up watching Aquarium Co-op, which taught him the right way to keep fish. Jesse, you keep larger fish. I would love your opinion on this tank stocking. I'd love your opinion on the tank that this knife fish is in. Let me get a good shot of it for you. Yeah, right about here. What do you think about this?
And so not reachable as a normal person. You know, they will have a fish tank that is worth $50,000.
And then, of course, these aren't big fish, but still, Jesse, you could give your opinion on
YouTube was even really
on this guy here, this beautiful masterpiece of carefully thought out biotope. What is the word that I looked up earlier? The sympatric occurrence. Yeah.
be doing these videos that these YouTubers are doing. But a lot of the times you'll see them copying each other's thumbnails, doing the same pond videos over and over, where they make a huge
I'm sorry. It's the humpback
pond
fish.
videos.
Bro, this fish looks like its spine is about to burst out of its skin.
Over and over.
I'm in the group. He's crying about with my big pond. Yeah, your magic money.
Where they make a huge pond in their garage or something,
humble,
and it gets millions of views
setup.
overnight.
But again, that's why I
Now,
want your
this is
opinion
just
on
kind of a
the
little
knife fish.
speech, I think, of why YouTuber fish rooms suck.
So, one of his comments would be, I don't know why anyone's mad. I'm like, you got a video where you're saying YouTuber fish rooms suck. Just broadly. Hey, I'm not doing a fish room tour of mine anytime soon. I don't think that it's good enough for that kind of thing. So he might have me there. But as far as broadly, I think it's a little bit unfair.
If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. This is just my commentary as someone who's been watching fish YouTube for over 10 years, and I've been keeping fish my entire life.
$50,000 tanks and $20,000 fish, like, I don't know what the hell fish YouTube he's watching.
Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to talk about how unreachable these ponds are that they're building, and that people need to step back down to the real world when they're making these videos, because you want to make something that someone else can make and someone else.
Again, the real world is his room with like 5 tanks in it, when most people are trying to like get the space and be able to make it possible for them to have like 155 or 75 in their living room, and that's like the pinnacle of their goals. You already got like 4 times
can replicate and inspire them to do on
this is crazy.
Their own. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like.
So anyways, I just thought it was interesting because we don't get a lot of this on FishTube. I hope we get more. You know, that drama, the discourse, and the fact that this basically out of nowhere channel and video somehow reached KG Tropicals to the point where they did an entire live stream based off of it with the name, "Are YouTuber Fish Rooms Unrealistic?" I think this kid, my advice to you, stop being a bitch, okay? It's just the internet. People are going to say shit about you. Embrace it. You got to milk this for all it's worth. You just got handed the KG Tropical stimulus package. You should crank out like 7 more videos in the next month, all of which similar themes. Rage bait the hell out of them. Get his bald head turning red. Do another stream about you. You're gonna blow up, okay? You'll be one of the people with magic clicks and all that. Clip yourself, post things, milk it. You got a channel with 500,000 subscribers that for some reason did a whole live stream on your video that had 90 views when I first saw it. You hit the jackpot, bro. Calm down. This hate talk is love. It's love. It's attention. You're there. You're landing. Keep going. Just ignore the discourse. I think you're fucking wrong, and I think that you're a hypocrite. But that's fine. We all make mistakes. We're all hypocrites, and we're all wrong sometime. So roll with the punches. Make some more videos. It's gonna be great. You basically could be what Skeptical Aquatics I was hoping could be. I was hoping Skeptical would do videos that were dramatic, cause people to talk about it, and then I could just backpack off of that and react to it. He ended up being too low IQ of an individual, too focused on nature tanks that have no substrate in them. Puzzle me that. Don't make any sense to me either. But that's what he's lost with. You got the advantage. You seem to have a much broader interest And honestly, this whole younger guy thing, this inexperienced, what the hell is he talking about thing, it's working perfect. All these fish keepers are old. They hate being told what to do by younger people. So I say, keep going. And if you are wrong about what you're saying, it doesn't matter, bro. It literally doesn't matter. Just give your opinion, and don't let the comments get to you. Turn your comments back on. That's engagement. Okay? All attention is good attention at this point. You don't got a store, you don't got a brand. If people hate you, it's basically no skin off your teeth. So, cloud chase to the max. That is my advice to you, because it's already worked. It's already worked, and you weren't even necessarily trying. So, applause to you. And he is at facts. True Nikim, they look decent, but it's what he's talking about that's wrong. But you got to give him his water look to be okay, and the fish look okay too, if you don't count the humpback. Yeah, the fish do look like they are in decent health. Mick M said, got me a pair of Diapteron George A the other day and put a small quarantine tank for now. Very nice. Do you think my pair could still lay fertile eggs? Because I still have my pair, technically. They're actually the oldest, some of the fish I've had the longest. Because I got them early on. So I think before I know it, they'll be 2 years old. They'll be 2 years old. I originally had a trio. I lost one to jumping when I was moving stuff around. But I'm thinking about trying to do them again one of these days. All right. But yeah, it was fun. Fun little video stuff, man. I hope to see more of this. Okay, anything else going on? Well, Stephen P. is
Ghost
live.
knife in there, not featured, but it's there.
What do we got going on here?
Mike.
Okay, they're playing a game. Very cool. Yeah, I don't think I got much else to say, honestly, about anything on YouTube. Guys, this might be the end of the stream. It feels too perfect of an ending. I feel like we hit everything. I could yap some more. You know I got the yap. I got the yap in me, bro. I got that dog in me, as they say. I could just keep talking. But at the same time, maybe I just spin back tomorrow. Some fresh topics, some fresh footage or something to review. Maybe I could find someone to hop on stream with me. Jesse said keep yapping. Bro, you're selfish. I know you're probably in the fish room working on something. Some say fish stop spawning when they're older. But to me, that is against nature. Self animals go at it for as long as they can. Pond Puppy said, can you repeat everything I just got here? Oh my gosh, bro. This is just ridiculous. Some say raccoons ate my barbs and CPDs on my outdoor tubs. I'm sorry to hear that. Poo2 Captain Moonlight in the Discord. She does a lot of outdoor stuff. She had some raccoons try and get into her ponds recently. Definitely get some netting to put over, I think is the popular choice of the pond people. Definitely needed. From what I hear, the list of things that will try and eat your fish out of the pond is substantial. And Pond Puppy says, hi everyone, hope all is well. Hello, I hope you are doing well also. I do. I honestly do. I'm not lying. I'm not lying at all. I don't know why I'm acting like I gotta prove it. Listen, I don't know why you're doubting me. I really hope you're doing well. What do you mean it's suspicious that I have to clarify it so much? No, I'm telling you that. Says, I'm gonna put the pit on him. Sorry, not sorry. Wait. I mean, hey, if that's what's gonna work. You know that Katy Perry song? Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? I thought of that when I saw this pleco here on the airline. Just, it's a mood. It's a whole mood. But yeah, as far as flashing fish, these barbs have been flashing a good bit, and I don't know what's going on with them. I actually did treat this tank pretty thoroughly, I feel like. So I don't know if there's just a lot of particulates. I don't know. They definitely do like pick at the ground a lot, and they definitely do have a lot of dominance things going on. So I don't know if that's what it is. And they definitely do it more after I do a water change. So food for thought, but they're doing well. And I've been moved to fry to a bigger tank. See, I think that Corey just did some hitting against the sand. So I don't know if they're trying to kick up the sand. I don't know what's going on with that. That's a nice elongated tank, low boy. Yeah, I love the low boys, man. I do. So a 28-gallon low boy. Right now, I think I got the stocking locked in. I just need to get the catfish out, actually. I wanted to just be the barbs and the half beaks. So the wrestling half beaks are in there. The wrestling half beaks are in there. And then I need to get these lasers out. Oh, you get a laser, that half beak just like pew. The new 5 gallon, well, newish 5 gallons on the new rack are growing in nicely. I've been really enjoying them. This is that Rivalis I was mentioning before. They've been doing well. I've been getting eggs from them. And the male is looking fabulous. And the female staying healthy, staying fat. The pseudo, well, let me just pull up my phone because I don't know why I'm doing the laptop camera. How do the fish wrestle? I don't know. Why do they call them wrestling half beaks? Nick, you always ask the good questions. I don't know if it's because you're always on stream when it's like 3 a.m. where you live and it's just like the shower thought effect. You know, you just got the good ideas coming through, but yo, you really be spitting sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I am not going to lie. So real quickly, since I'm here to yap a little bit longer by request, let me just show you how the 5 gallons are doing. Which I was 5 gallon happy. I think I want to go back to more, I need to set up more 10 gallons on my next rack. But here we go. So I actually got the beta rubra in here and the Histatus. I shall move the Histatus to their own tank eventually, since now they're spawning and laying eggs and things like that. But I believe the male beta rubra is holding eggs at this point because I saw them in the cave. The female was horizontal, looked like they're doing that passing eggs into the mouth situation. Nick said I like to think outside the box. What's up, Sonny G? So yeah, I need to get rid of snails in here to really be wanting to do a fish with eggs in it. So I think the Histatus, I'm gonna move out to a newer tank with just a bunch of moss, let them go crazy. Let's get some baby Histatus, bap those up. It's gonna be excellent, okay? Over here, I moved into the 5 gallon from the 10 gallon above because these killifish were too smart. They were eating the stir-by eggs as soon as they were being laid. So I wanted more stir-by eggs. So I moved, this is the Rivalis. And bam, look at that. I think I angled the light just right to for a moment you could actually see that the fish does indeed look pretty nice. Sonny G said I never left. I am lurking. Couple fish said, what's up, fish game? What's up, bro? Bruh. But yeah, this guy, he's starting to look very nice. Got the blue sheen, got the black outline. Of course, like I said, with the Rivalis, a lot of them, it's like collection points. It's a lot of variation. So I don't really know for sure what he's gonna eventually look like. I do love fish that have the bright blue eyes. So we got some blue eyes. But as you can see, my approach to the 5 gallons, I was hesitant to do tanks vertically, aligned on the ends like this, but I'm starting to find ways to set them up where they still look nice to me. They still feel like a normal tank. All right. So, Sunny G said I like the in view of the tanks. Yeah, I did mute myself. Sorry. I'm starting to like the in view as I figure out how to make it a way I prefer more. Here we got the Pseudomagil luminatus are growing out pretty well. I need to start collecting eggs from those again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I could have like a lot more, but I don't. Oh, okay. Well, I just witnessed why the Signifer are hiding. The Riverless definitely just body slammed one, so I was hoping this pairing would work out a bit better. I don't think they've eaten them. I still see them back there. I hope they haven't eaten them. All right. How could I? Let's catch some rainbow fish. Let me just do this real quick. Oh, there's one of the better rubras. The females. I'm gonna put you guys on some yellow shrimp. Why I'm stopping to do this now is because recently there's been a few instances where I've seen a problem in the tank, but I did not have time necessarily to address it immediately, and I didn't quite get to it in time. Right now, I'm in a position where I do have time. I just spotted an issue. Let me see if I can rectify that. So I just saw that there's a tank mate incompatibility happening, and we're gonna fix it. So let me get a catch cup. I actually I got some new measuring cups for catching stuff. I like these. They're super clear. I feel like they're sturdy. And this hangs on the tank very nicely. It was a set of 3. I've been liking them. Alright. Let's catch some fish. Hopefully they didn't kill them all. I wasn't home for the last few days, so that's why I'm like noticing things that are going wrong, because I wasn't here. Oops. But I would say that's like a lot of the stuff that is like troubleshooting is like watching the tanks enough to notice there's a problem, and then being around to actually rectify the situation. Because the rainbows are hiding in the back there, I feel like it's going to be annoying to catch them, so probably be easier to just move the killifish back to where I had them with the stir-by. But we'll think about it. I think there's some options on where I could put them, but I just want to give the rainbows a chance to not be dead as quickly as possible. So let's take the route of least resistance. Ah! No! It jumped out the net. Old damn Riverless. It's hopping on the ground like a frog. This is crazy, bro. Killifish. I hate killifish. Actually, I wish I had showed you guys how it was jumping on the ground, because you can tell that these guys are meant to travel across the ground like that. That was crazy. It was the female Riverless was hopping around like a frog on the ground. So before these guys jump out of the catch cup, as you can see, seems like a non-zero chance that's about to happen. I'm just trying to show you what they look like while I have them. And this looks like a situation primed for disaster. The good news is, looks like the rainbows aren't all dead. I see them starting to come out. There's 4. I think there should be 7. So hopefully more come out. I just moved the terrorists out of there, so. Because the original group, Branton sent me, some arrived dead in the bag. Riverless always jump, can't leave lid off for a minute, and light stress them. Yeah. These guys have been way more chill than the other Riverless I had. I thought they would be fine with these fish. And they were. I had them in there for a few days while I was home. So it's not like I put them together and then, you know, it was a big problem because that they were in there with them for a few days and there was no problem. But obviously that changed. But I see the rainbow still here and I see more in the back. So I do think all of them are alive. But that could have changed. If we didn't do something about it right at this moment, that could have easily changed. So trying to be better at just, if I can, it can be hard because, you know, you come home, you're tired or whatever's going on. I'm trying to be better that if I can, I see a potential problem, just go ahead and take care of it. So now I gotta think where I want to put them. And I think it's probably gonna end up being back to where they were, which is with the stir-by. I just don't think, I think that's the best place to put them right now. So I'm gonna do that. And since all my tanks are the same temperature and etc., I'm just gonna, I almost dropped my cup. I'm gonna take this and pour them back in. But let's take a little bit of, Nick, what you think about the mouse catfish I got in? Let me take a, I'm gonna have to take a look. Do you have a rock band with no name? Dead Rainbows is my idea. You gave it to me. Dead Rainbows? That's a great rock band name, actually. That's actually a great rock band. Well, let me think. What's a rock band name that I can that I have? I want to do something with the word decrepit, you know? Decrepit bones. Something like that, you know? Another D word. Pause. Degenerate? That could be a good bad name. Degenerate vegetables. That sounds very healthy. All right. We've now fixed the problem, but let's take this opportunity. Life gives you lemons. We've removed the fish. There was a mop in there. Let's see if all that aggression was for nothing, or if they actually were laying any eggs in this tank. May as well take a look. And then I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. I'm tired. I need to pick some eggs. I need to do some stuff, so I'll probably tap out relatively soon after we look at the mouse catfish. I gotta at least get that done before I sign off, but hopefully I'll be back tomorrow if all things go as planned. I need to send some emails. I didn't get all my orders done in time, and with the Labor Day weekend, I didn't really want to risk sending anything on a Thursday because that could go bad quick. Entombed was a Swedish band, great name, dark music. You know what's funny? In my YouTube analytics or whatever, one of the demographics, and it's not like I have like a large amount of data to go off of where it's like, oh yeah, this is an accurate representation of everyone that watches your videos. But one of the things apparently that a lot of people have interest in that watch my videos is rock music. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean, hey, I like some good rock music. Why not? I'm just gonna check this mop for some eggs super fast. And it's not looking extremely promising, but I just put it in the, oh wait, there's an egg. Okay. I'm gonna let this mop drip out a little bit more. So while it's doing that, I guess I should get another mop. Let's do some egg picking. Some egg picking. And Jesse, where's the video of your mouse catfish again? Because I can show those in a moment as well. But I'll at least get through 2 mops. So we got the riverless, definitely some eggs there. Then I got this other mop over here I'm gonna pull out. Last time we tried this one, there was 0 eggs. So get your guesses in. First guess, make it for the riverless mop. And then second guess, make it for how many eggs from this second disappointment mop that gave us nothing last time. My latest video, or there's a short up. Let's take a look at this while my mops are dripping. We got a short link. Oh my gosh, bro, the song that he put for the short, I love this song. Hold up. Where's my YouTube? Give money, yeah, yeah. Give money, yeah, yeah, like ooh. There I am. Okay. Content is solid. I gotta hit the like. And then he's got a great song. Like ooh, why you gotta hate on my crew? You know that my BBS is blue. Like ooh. $, $, by XXX Tentacion. Good song. All right. Yeah, those mice, those meese catfish do look pretty nice, man. Now, break my heart. How much are they? How much are they? That's the question. That's the question. Do I need the magic money that kid was talking about? We all need a little magic money, though. Let's be honest. Let's be freaking for real. I just had a total memory malfunction where I'm like, where am I putting the eggs for the riverless again? True, several guys in bands love fish. Some guys in the band, the Helicopters, are engaged in saving wild species over here. Very nice. That's awesome. I don't know where my headlamp is because I just got home and of course nothing is where I remember it. Get your guesses in for the riverless eggs. They've been in there for at least 2 days with this mop. The mop was new. I kind of floated in there, slowly getting water saturating. Let's see. Okay, $40. $40 on the mouse catfish, but can you sex them? That's my question. Now, the interesting thing I'm noticing about these riverless eggs is they're not as sticky as some of the other killifish eggs. Like, after I pick them up from the mop, I can actually kind of just like drop them sometimes without even like dipping my finger in the water. It's just kind of interesting. Like, they're not as sticky. All right, Sunny's guessing 6. It's not a bad guess. It's not a bad guess. Back under the light here. We got 8 from King Nino. I'm at 3 eggs so far. Oh my gosh. They seem to be laid in like batches of 2. We're at 5 eggs. 5 eggs. I don't know, I have to sit there and watch them for a long time to see if there's any differences. Okay. $40 isn't too bad. If you can get a pair of them, then maybe I would do it. But if I gotta buy a group, then it's gonna be expensive. Alright. Alright, we're still at 5. You know, I'm still trying to not spend too much time on looking at mops. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna stare at this. We might be just below the lowest guess if I don't get another one. But it's not looking. It's not looking good. I mean, I'm sure there's one more on here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. Alright, I'm calling it. That's 5 from the Riverless. It's 5. And I see another signifer coming out, so it does look like the rainbow fish are alive. Sunny G said tickling the egg sacs. Oh, that's so unnecessary. How dare you? Jesse said I really like the micro Sinnohs too. Let's see what's going on here with the micro Sinnohs. Dwarf bumblebees. See, these are good shorts, man. You were saying you don't like video editing, but I'm telling you, you're doing better than most of the established fish businesses already. I'm not even like because you're my friend, but this is a great format. And I'm sure it'll only get better as you go. But you got clear stages. Name, the fish in the bag, the fish in the display, and then at the end, the release. Very clean, phenomenal stuff. So you've been selling your, not bad for a man with one shoulder. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, these are cute fish. Do they stay this size? Now, how much are these? No, aren't these catfish? Don't they eat a lot of things? Like, I feel like are these the ones where people are like, don't put them with small fish, kind of a thing? But they do got a cool little stripe and a little bumblebee action. They seem very active. Mikim said those bumblebees are cool. Yeah. I like them. Ah, man. There's a lot of fish to get into, man. There's a lot of fish. I could use the bat points. Thank you. I do what we can, and like we talked, I'm trying to be more serious about the video stuff. Yeah, man. You're doing great. You're doing great. I think those are good. A lot of businesses like the one that you're starting up, like they don't do they're in it longer and they don't do that much effort into it. A lot of it is because they're trying to figure out video editors and stuff, and they have no idea what they're doing. So they end up getting someone, then they stay for like 2 months, and then they leave. Let's see. Does Dan's Fish do shorts like this? Let's compare. I want to see when it was posted. This was posted today. So this is pretty good because you got his face, so that's nice. You got a little personality. You got the talking. It's just the bags though. We don't got anything on the fish. All right, we got bagging, heat sealer bagging. This is a day ago. Okay, so they're starting to post a little bit more regularly. This is 4 days ago. I don't know, man. I think your video is so far better than these shorts. These are pretty low effort. This is all just one shot with the tank and I'm talking about them. It's not bad. I think that's good too. You could do some kind of thing like this as well. It's nice to have low effort things like this. You just film the tank, talk about it. But I think you have a nice format. And the thing about that is if people start liking those and you work on it and stuff, then they'll know what to expect because you have a predictable formula with stages in it, you know. So yeah, I think going to even a business like this that's been around longer than you, I think you're on the right path for sure. You're already kind of doing some nice stuff there. I don't even know what I'm trying to do and just trying to make what I'd want to watch. I'd say that's 100% all you should do. Make videos like ones you would want to watch. That's what I do. These live streams I try and make to be like live streams that I actually watch. And I think that's all people should focus on, you know? Don't try and make content that you know nothing about, that you don't relate to. Like, make videos that you actually like and would watch yourself, you know? Sunny G said, "Whoa, fancy Sarah shipping bags." Yeah, can you get us all the Sarah products to try, man? You should try and get Sarah to load out your fish room with those weird angled filters that I love so much. Or at the very least, send them my way. I've gotten a lot of good feedback of the release videos. Good. Mick comes to back to bed over here, 5/7/27 a.m. Take care of you all. Take care of Mick. This man hates sleeping almost as much as I do. Actually, I hate sleeping more. I hate sleeping more. Okay. Almost knocked the computer off. We'll do one more mop, and again, disclaimer, I have a snail problem in the Procatopus tank and a cichlid problem eating the eggs. Let's look at the Procatopus mop real quick, and then we're going to call it. Okay. Get your guesses in. Get your guesses in for the Procatopus eggs. How many you think we got? I'm gonna tell you now. My expectations are in the toilet, but let's give it a try. There's a lot of snails on here, so we'll see what eggs are left. I do see one, so we're off to a non-zero start. I think it's a good egg. I mean, realistically, we're not trying to like maximize production here. This isn't a fish farm. So the way I look at it, anytime I pick even one egg, you know, that's gonna add up over time. So let me get my egg collection container. $25. What's up, George? I made it all. Hello. 17, 4, 7. Okay. Got a wide range. I did say my expectations were low. Some people are trying to shoot for the moon. See if they win the lottery. Good night, Mick. Mick says good night. And George, glad you made it. You know, you usually do make it. You're usually late, and you always show up as I'm about to end. But at least you made it. And I appreciate that. Jeffro, what's up, Jeffro? How you been? How you been? How you been? I will say I'm surprised. I am at 2 eggs already. And my expectations were low. To the point where I thought there was a chance there could be 0. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Hit that thumb, people, George said. That's like me using a hammer. Not a pretty sight. That's a bad egg. No, it's a bad egg. I thought I had another one. Okay, we're gonna have to do a mop after this that I know will have a couple eggs on it. Because I can't end it with a 2-egg mop. That's just too depressing. But like I said, there's been a snail problem. A lot of snails. I think they've been laying their eggs somewhere else because there's a bunch of hair algae. They seem to like laying their eggs in that. I just removed it though today. Do bad eggs count? No, they don't. That's why I said, oh no. All right. We only got 2. And that's pretty bad. So I'm going to have to step up some things around here because before we were getting like 20 or so. I'm messing up. So next mop we'll do the P82s, the gardener eye. See if we get anything from that. There's usually a few eggs on there. They lay pretty consistently. I haven't picked it in a day or two. So let's pretend that last one didn't happen. Get your guess in now. There's gonna be eggs this time. I don't know if it's gonna be a lot, but there's gonna be more than 2. I can almost guarantee that. That shirt rips. Is it ripped already? Yeah, I'm wearing the Sarah shirt because my dream is that they send me their sponge filters that I like so much so far to fill out the fish room. That's the sponge filter I would like to be in all my tanks. The corporate shilling, the sponsorship, I'll accept that. Send them my way. I'm repping Sarah for the free ski just because of how desperate. I need one of those. Yeah, they've been handing them out at meetings. I try and get as many as I can because it's a comfortable shirt. It's like 100% cotton or some shit. Where's the fucking label? Let me see. Yeah, 100% cotton, inside out washing and ironing, made in Bangladesh. Okay, it's that European stuff, okay? They don't got the silicone shirts. Sonny's guessing 6 eggs. Bob's guessing, say, come on, 4. We're gonna see. And Sonny G said, yeah, I like the Sarah filters. Jesse said, I'm gonna talk with Sarah Akashella because I want to carry their food lines. Oh, that'd be cool. Now you just need the filters. I'm just saying, if you want a filter with that like flow thing to the top, for me, there's the Easy Flow kit, horrendous. The Sarah thing though, good. It's good. I like it so far. And I've been running one for at least 6 months, and it hasn't clogged on me yet. I cannot say the same. Cannot say the same. Snap me one, I'll buy it off, please. I'm on the blacklist. wait, how are you on the blacklist? Oh, are you on my blacklist? Okay. What size do you wear? If I see one, I actually might try and snag one for you. Just tell me what size. There might be some left in some of these clubs. Alright. I'm checking the mop. We got our first egg. These are the Gardner Eye P82s. XL or bigger. Gotcha. I'll keep my eyes out. Easy Flow is an easy no. It's unfortunate. I will say, the Hygger sponge filter. Now I have 2. I do like them. I like the Airstone thing inside of them. I like the fine foam thing. And I like the square bottom. That's the unique things about it that I can say seem to hold up to the promise so far. Alright, Bob, I'm at 3 eggs. It's not looking as many as I was hoping. So I might have to try another mop. I want a mop that's actually like good. Alright. 4 eggs. 4 eggs. I thought maybe it was a bad egg. Alright. I don't like to spend a lot of time looking. Let's see. I'm doing one more quick run through the map. Will Bob get his 4? Or will I find number 5? I'm not gonna lie. It's I was just about to give up, and I got number 5, Bob. I'm sorry. I was trying. I was rooting for you. I wanted to get the 4. Oh, and another one. It's a 6. Sunny guess 6. Let's see. That could be where it ends. Hager's no in between quality. It's either perfect or trash. I just hate how, like, in the in-store products they have, like, they still gotta put like the letters and 3 billion number names on them. Like, can you name it something that I can Google and it comes up reliably, where I still don't have to double check the robot serial number you have for the product to make sure it's matching? Like, that's just crazy to me. All right, Sunny G got it. 6 eggs. That's where I'm stopping. 6. Whew. Let's do one more. Why not? Can we beat 6? I don't know. I really do not know. They only sell the Easy Flow and not the regular anymore, right? Yeah. That's the reason why I complain about the Easy Flow so much is you can't buy the sponge filters anymore without also buying the Easy Flow kit. So like my bucket of fish junk, I've actually just started throwing out the Easy Flow tubes. I'm not gonna lie, because they're useless to me and they're just taking up space. So it's like I don't have infinite space to just waste with basically landfill material. I don't want to have a fish landfill in my own fish room. I feel like that's reasonable. Okay, we're going over there. My red shrimp population has really been coming back. I've been culling a few, but you can see the breeders that I got, and it's still my original red shrimp line. They look very nice. Bob said, I'll never forget the hunchback fish. Yo, hunchback of Notre Dame fish is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I was cooking with that one. That one particularly. All right, let's do some. While we're still here, we're still vibing. I'll keep it moving, because we're still vibing. I don't know. I don't expect much from this mop. This is in with the stir by, but let's just give it a look. You know, miracles happen. Miracles happen. But they spawned right before I left, so I don't know necessarily that there'd be anything in here already. And I'm just gonna do a quick look, because there's another mop that I want to get to more. So I'm not even gonna have you guys guess for this one, because I don't think there's gonna be anything. But I'm just checking. Yeah, looking like nothing. Okay. Let's check one other mop. What do you think? Okay, so this tank has a real big snail problem, but I've been working on it. So this is the rice fish tank. Let's see if there's any eggs on this mop. There was a real bad snail problem. I probably removed like 100 snails right before I left. Let's see if I did enough to make a difference to where any eggs are making it. This is another one where my expectations are low. My expectations are low, but you never know. Oh, that kind of rhymes. My expectations are low, but you never know. Okay. It's not bad. I really got to start making these stickers and stuff. And my sister, she does art for, like, and she draws, like, shrimp and stuff. I really need to make a t-shirt with one of her designs soon. They're real cute. They're real cute. But the to-do list is just beyond my capabilities right now. It really is. Some of these mops, it's like I just started setting up. So I know you guys have probably heard me say on stream before, like I need to get mops into tanks. Like And I've started to actually do that. The other day, when I was doing the... Oh, you know what? Guys, did I ever talk about the judge training I did for the Clash? I volunteered to be a judge at the Clash. And the thing is, volunteering doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually going to be a judge. But they might make you like an assistant judge. But I figured, bro, this mop is just covered in snails. It's absolutely insane. But there's at least one egg that I just saw. So get your guesses in. This is the Medaka rice fish mop. There's at least 10 rice fish in there. But it's got a heavy snail problem. I've been working on it. But just guess how many eggs you think we can get from this. Okay. Bob with the 9. Alright. So as I was saying, I did the judge training for the Clash. I volunteered to judge. May not actually get to be a judge, but maybe I get to assist a judge or something. I'm kind of hoping they need judges enough that I'll get to judge. I don't think I'm like an expert, but based on the training they gave me, like I think if Chris Diaz gave me a bit of a rundown, I could judge Killifish. I think I could even judge some other stuff, but not to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I know a lot about fish, I can be a judge. Just the point of like, okay, I've looked at enough fish that if they give me some criteria to look for, then I can judge a fish based on that, you know. But if there's better judging options, then yeah, I'd probably go with those. Man, you guys are optimistic. I've already picked 20 snails off of this mop, so I got 1 egg. Okay, oh shit, 2 eggs, 3 eggs, 4 eggs. But guys, I'm telling you, snails are a real problem. If you're trying to do breeding, if you're trying to do mops, kill every single snail. Kill all of them. Every single one. All of them. I'm going back to deploying pea puffer death squads into some tanks. You just gotta slaughter the snails. Put a vegetable in, let them get on the vegetable, take it out. Do that a couple times, it'll pretty much cut down on a lot. And fish do eat the snail eggs, so if you get that down some, usually it's back to being fine. We're at 4 eggs. These eggs are smaller than I thought they'd be. I have assassin snails in one tank. A couple things. One, they probably would eat snail eggs too, although I don't think they'd be as big of a problem. But at least for me, the assassins just haven't reproduced fast enough to take care of the problem. And the other thing is, assassin snails also will eat just whatever food you're throwing in there. So like, it's totally possible that they don't eat that many snails because they're eating the other foods. And if you're breeding fish, you're probably feeding the tank pretty healthily. So yeah, you see the issue there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 eggs is actually way better than I was expecting. 7 eggs. Okay. You know what? You optimists are onto something, actually. But yeah, the problem is, even if just feeding less for the snails took care of the problem, which, honestly, the snails seem to be able to eat a lot of stuff that's in the aquarium, so I don't even necessarily think feeding less is going to do enough for my purposes. But the problem is, the only reason the snails are an issue for me is because I'm trying to breed stuff. If I'm trying to breed stuff, I'm probably feeding the tank heavily. So it's kind of like not really possible. So it's not that hard to control the situation. Like I said, you know, you put a vegetable in there on on a snail trap or something. You could just put a vegetable on a dish. They're all gonna get on that thing. Hundreds of them will get on that piece of broccoli or whatever. You take the dish out. Like, you solve the problem pretty quickly that way. But you just have to actually do it. Some of these eggs are eyed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs. And I'm pretty happy. So these are the red, or I guess orange long fins. Interesting thing, a lot of the eggs are at the bottom of the mop, and before they would be at the top a lot for me. So did I just say 8 or did I just say 9? Because I just picked 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're at 10. You know, assassin snails will survive being dried out for weeks. I did not know that. I'm not surprised. Snails seem pretty good at not dying. But I'll be honest, the snails that I'm getting rid of, they don't meet a good end. Whether it's getting eaten by a Congo puffer or getting eaten by some mealworms or some isopods. I mean, terrestrial isopods, just to be specific. I forget who it was, but someone was convinced the aquatic isopods were eating their mystery snails. I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like your mystery snails probably were dead or dying. The isopods are not killing your snails. That would be nice. I have a lot of mystery snails that happen to be with isopods. They're not doing a good job. Did I say 10 last? Because I just found another egg. That's 11. But yeah, snails are great at surviving. King Nino said 17. Bob said 9. So we're past the lower guesses. And I've been having such a good time. I don't even know what I've been yapping about. That I've been looking at this mop longer than I probably should. But this is the first time I found eggs on it. So getting rid of the snails, although there's still a lot in here, it was enough that some eggs actually made it. So I'm gonna stop now here, but I'm pretty happy about this. 11 of the rice fish eggs. I've had these rice fish a long time, not really breeding them, so it's kind of been a waste of potential. I had the amber glitter rice fish project I was working on making longfin. I messed that up, so I'm gonna have to start over again with these, but I'd like to get some numbers back, so we're gonna have to actually start up a new fry tray to hatch these in so I don't get them mixed up. I even know how I got them, Sonny. They just appeared one day. Yeah, someone has like 50 assassin snails they want to send me. I tested out, but I just got to get rid of the snails the good old-fashioned way, and we'll be back. Now, I'm looking to the left. My panda cories are actually breeding right now. Steve said, damn, still going? Steve, I tried to stop. Jesse begged me to keep going. If you look in this tank over here, you'll notice the pandas doing some breeding behaviors. So there's a couple problems in this tank, breeding-wise. One is the mop is horrendous. It's not thick enough. So the eggs are getting eaten, and that leads me to problem number 2. The eggs are getting eaten, and it could be by the pandas too, but really, it's the wild betas I have in there. They go into the mop, they eat the eggs. I thought that was a long-haired ghost girl for a second. No. Sounds freaky. Glad that wasn't the case. But we could check this mop for panda cory eggs. Why not? We're here, we're talking, we're hanging. Let's do it. My expectations are low. I think there's too much other stuff for them to lay eggs on. That's the problem too. But I'm gonna let this mop hang a second. Nice surprise, Beto. The eggs are white square with a dot in the middle. Wait, what? Wait, assassin snails lay eggs? I thought they had live birth. Beto said I would do bear tank with the mops to make it easier. Nah, no bare bottom tanks. No bare bottom tanks. I like to make things harder for myself. That's how I breed fish. That's how I breed fish. It's got to be harder than it needs to be. It's got to be in a planted tank. It's got to be sometimes a community tank. See if I can make it work. It's the puzzle. That's the fun part. It's the puzzle. I do have another sponge filter, a little strong. Let me turn that down. That will change the older you get. I don't know. It's the fun part. But I am very lazy, so you could be right. You could be right. I just don't like. I like how the tanks look when they got stuff in them. So if I was trying to maximize breeding and stuff, and that was what was fun, I'd do it that way. But I breed for fun, and for me, bare bottom tanks not fun. I could set up some bare tanks, like some false bottoms, all sorts of stuff. No, let me do it the worst way possible. That's what I like. Japanese trapdoor snails do live birth. Okay. And don't the Malaysian trumpet snails too? And the rabbit snails, I guess. Malaysian trumpets. Let me see. Yeah, this mop is too thin. No egg is surviving in here. Because the betas can just swim right in and they just eat the eggs as soon as they're laid. So I am going to move the pandas soon, I think. I just need to set up a new rack. It won't be a bare bottom, but it will be less things in it, for sure. So that was not much. There's one last mop I want to do, but first I'm having an overwhelming urge to wash my hands, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna put my hand back in the tank. So give me a second. I feel much better. I feel much better. Okay, there's one more tank I want to do a mop from. This is... Are those Bloody Marys? No idea. I bought the original ones from House of Tropicals when I first started. I cannot remember what they were supposed to be, but I have kind of culled them over time, so I do think I do have a nice red neoline going on. But they were kind of nice when I got them. I definitely continued to try and select for as much red saturation. Some of the females are really nice where it's like everything's red, their legs are totally red. So, I don't know. I'm not into the shrimp strain names and stuff. Because first of all, I'd have to believe whoever I bought them from got the strain right. And then second of all, I'd have to care, which I don't. I just know what I like the shrimp to look like, and I'll cull the shrimp to look like that. And that's about where I keep it. Okay. Beto said, dude, I do the same, wash hands like 20 times a day. I found my long lost twin. Yeah, a lot of people do make fun of me for how much I wash my hands. It's just the way that I am. So sometimes I do wear gloves just because if I don't, then I'll get to the point where my hands are drying out all the time. I give up on shrimp. I just let wild type. I mean, look, I'm not in here culling all the time or anything. Like, I'm not that OD with it. But, like, every now and then I'll see an ugly shrimp and I'll be like, get out of there. I don't like... I have plenty of tanks with the wild type going crazy. But, I mean, I like having nice-looking shrimp in tanks. So, yeah. A lot of my shrimp don't really go wild though, unless. Oh man, guys, this is exciting. This is exciting. I see an egg. I see an egg. Florina's getting into high-tech CO2 now. Let me know when she gets like a BBL or something, okay? Don't come talking to me about Florina's actual fish hobby. Get the fuck out of here. Yo. That being said, I'd love to interview her so she can come on and tell us how she's actually a hobbyist and not just promoting her OnlyFans. That would be an amazing conversation. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong, Florina, please. I know you're a real human being, so you might actually be into the hobby. I'd love for you to have a chance to come and talk about that on my extremely small YouTube channel. I'm sure that'll solve all your that'll be a great opportunity. Okay, I'm excited because I've only really done the Gabber Wins community-wise, and I never really tried them in a mop. Now they're in there with the Scarlet Baddest that I've been separating out to sex. I think I got a good amount of females actually. But I did throw a mop in there right before I left. And there's actually eggs on it. So I've never picked Aphysimian Gabber eggs before. Sonny said, don't play us, Nick. You're a Florina OnlyFans subscriber. No, but I did look up some leaks just to confirm my suspicions. It was actually pretty tame, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't subscribe, save your money. Okay, put in your guesses for the Aphysimian Gabber eggs. This is exciting. The first killifish I bred a lot of. I'm hoping to get a lot of them again. I do want to do them community-wise, like in a planted tank. But right now, how things are shaping out, I just don't got the perfect one for them to do that in. So I wanted to try collecting eggs. I got one here. I put the mop in right before I left. It's only been a day or two, and the mop took a while to saturate because I didn't like squeeze in the water. That being said, put in your guesses. Expectations are low. Johnny said, would you like to trade my baby's Fundula Pancheck Gardnerite and Suka from LRB for some isopods? No. Just because I'm not looking for too many Fundula Panchecks, and I already have a Gardnerite. But if you have any other fish, you know, my ears are open. My ears are open. I'm totally willing to do fish trades for isopods. Anyone ever wants to trade something for isopods, you know, feel free to offer. I may say no, but I do trades pretty often. The worst thing I can say is no. 5, 4. Okay, I think these are realistic guesses. Oh shit. 1, 2. Okay, we're at 2. I'm not gonna lie, this is exciting for me. It'll be a real redemption arc because I fumbled I had a bunch of them and I had a tank break. The tank didn't spontaneously break. I cracked the tank, being dumb. And I had to put a bunch of fish together, emergency basis, and I lost all my Gabber in that process. So, even if it's just a few eggs to start, just a proof of concept that I can even get some eggs from them, it's very exciting to me. So I do feel a lot of emotion over these 3 eggs that I found. I don't know if we'll get any more. The eggs are pretty small. This is the most excitement part of the hobby is to see babies. Yes. Let's go. 4 eggs. It's just nice to finally, like, I still got some stuff, some problem tanks, some things to figure out, but like it feels like I'm getting to a point in my hobby where I almost see a world where I'm a productive fish keeper, and I just hope I keep the trend up and can keep improving. So 4 eggs. Let's see. There could be more in here, but like I said, they're smaller, and I'm still kind of. I didn't wring this mop out. Let me wring it out a little bit more. I'll do one more pass, and then I'll call it on this mop. But I was expecting 0 eggs, so 4 eggs. I'm not going to complain about. And I've been doing the mops in kind of a different way. I think this might be... I might like this. I might like this. Okay. I'm calling it there. But I'm going to have to set up some more incubation fry... Well, actually, I have a free fry incubation thing. I just moved all the things out of, so. I can put the rice fish in there. I got this here for some eggs. I'll do the rice fish in this one. Not the highest yields, but we're slowly building. We're slowly building. These are the rice fish, I believe. These gotta be the wait, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one was 9? These are bigger eggs. I forgot to write down. These are too big to be the rice fish. You guys remind me which ones were 9. Yeah, these are the rice fish because they're small and there's a bunch of them. So I know those are. If only the master breeders could tell us how they do it. I gotta order some more fry boxes. Yeah. Well, I have my fry incubation tanks over there, like some critter keepers and things like that. And then I got this plastic tub. I'm deciding, I still don't really like the hang-on backs that much, the breeder boxes, but I decided I did set up 1 or 2 more of them just for fry, because I'm still setting up, I need to make a new rack for 10 gallons. But the other thing I'm doing with them is, we were talking about filtration a lot. I think hang-on backs are some of the better ones, but they're not cost effective. That being said, if I can use one of these hang-on back breeder boxes, basically turn it into an air-powered hang-on back, and also still incubate eggs in it, I think that's pretty good. So I'm cutting out some filter pads. So basically it's literally a air-powered hang-on back. The water comes in, it's going through a filter. I'll probably fill out the end column with some, some moss, some ceramic, and then the left side there, the fry are swimming around, and some Daphnia too. So I'm not fully sold on doing a bunch of them, but I don't know why air-powered hang-on backs aren't more of a thing. Probably because they'd be too cheap and cost-effective. I think you could get a $12 box that you could run water through, and that'd be the same as a higher-end sponge filter, and much better probably, honestly. So I think air-powered hang-on back filters are the future for fish rooms. Still a bit of a space issue because I don't like having stuff hanging off the tank. It's hard to make it so it fits on the side. It's hard when you do the racks to have a bunch of them. So it's not perfect, but I do think it has a place. I do think it has a place. It makes a lot more sense than some other stuff. And I do feel like, I mean, you could realistically you could have an air powered canister filter. I mean, it's just a sump. I mean, so I think air is underutilized right now. Can you show us the process to ship? I think Dan's Fish has a good video on shipping. Jody P has a video on how she ships stuff too. I think some people have done some good videos on that. Look at vintage hang-on backs. Long Life made one, and a couple companies made them too. Okay, I'll have to look at that. I'll definitely have to look at that. Because, yeah, I think that, you know, and I think that, I think Aquarium Co-op will soon make us hang on back. Because, one, I think he's mentioned it before. Two, I think they're trying to make their own version of every product. And hang on back filters are one of the more popular kinds, so of course they're going to try and make one. And three, in their filtration tier list they did on the In the Moment podcast, the hang on back filter was one of the ones that did all right. I think Corey said that he thought it could be S tier or something. And if you listen to him talk about filtration, you know, he's pretty critical about a lot of it. Like, he thinks canister filters are terrible. You know, so for the hang on back filter to get that much praise lets me know that there's probably one coming in the pipeline. But like I said, I think they're trying to make a Aquarium Co-op version of every product, but I do think that's one that makes a lot of sense. And I guess since I mentioned it, I'll pull up the tier list here of the freaking. All right, this is the In the Moment filtration tier list. Since this came up, just, you know, talking about filtration, I think if there was an air-powered hang-on-back filter, they did it on the criteria up here: price, beginner-friendly, ease of maintenance, appearance, durability, effectiveness, and noise. Air-powered hang-on-back, I think, would kill in every one of these categories. William said, just got here. We talking about filters again. God damn it, William. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming at least for an hour or two. Let me see. I've been streaming for 3 hours. God, I've been streaming for 3 hours. We haven't talked about filters once. Now you come in, we're talking about filters again. It came up. Okay, we're talking about the air-powered hang-on backs. So I brought up the Coupe In the Moment tier list because I think the criteria here in the top right: price, beginner-friendly, ease of maintenance, appearance, durability, effectiveness, and noise. Now you got the tiers here. S, A, B, C, D, you're familiar. I think an S tier filtration should at least do 6 of the 7 of this criteria. And I think a hang-on back, an air-powered hang-on back, would do all 7. I think it'd be price friendly, beginner friendly. I think the ease of maintenance would be easy. Beto says you could do a DOI air-powered hang-on back. I am. That's why I'm talking about it. I am. I've been turning the breeder boxes. This is when I just started into a hang-on back filter. And I got this one over here on this 40 breeder. It's got ceramic on here. It's got a filter pad in the middle. There's a bunch of mulm in here because I had a bunch of blackworms I was breeding in there, but I've since transferred them. It's got the big ceramic columns here. So yes, I essentially have a hang-on back, air-powered hang-on back. It does everything a normal hang-on back does. Actually has a bit more capacity than, like, this is the one hang-on back that I have here. And yeah, it's been doing well. You can see all the mulm in there. It's catching a lot of crap. It's polishing the water nicely, and it's easy to maintain. Doesn't make a lot of noise. So I think price, and again, I'm making these I made one too. It says on top though, but the water levels are high to work well. I used the undergrabber filter back when I was a pube and it worked great. Undergrabber filters do get a lot of praise. They really like them and made them to the A tier on this too. But I think an air-powered hang-on-back, and honestly, this isn't that bad because the Fluval hang-on-back things, they're like 15, 20 bucks. An expensive sponge filter can be as much as 15 bucks. The least expensive aquarium co-op one is like 11. Steve says, guess what? The beanie eggs suck. Another one bites the dust. Well, they're still working good for me in Brighton, so bad luck. Bad luck. Aaron's going to be having people shipping him the coop eggs from Seattle. It's crazy. It is getting absolutely diabolical out there. But me, I've been breeding mostly Daphnia anyway, so, and I just encapsulate the eggs, so I'm above the fray. I don't care about the hatch rate anymore. Why are sponge filters the most praised? I don't think sponge filters really are the most praised. If you have a billion aquariums, you know, it's impossible monetarily to make every single tank be powered by hang-on backs because hang-on backs aren't that cheap. They cost electricity, etc., etc. So, air-powered hang-on back would solve all those problems. I think the price could be, again, you just need a box that water goes through. So, if I just buy this $15 hang-on back, Beto says hang-on back has the most praise. Yeah, I think they probably sell the most hang-on backs out of everything. So I buy the Fluval hang-on breeder box. You fill it with all the stuff that would be in a hang-on back that's powered. Now you have a $15 hang-on back filter, not too far from the price of the more praised quote-unquote sponge filters, and that's what I've been kind of experimenting with. Again, not the best scaling wise, as opposed to buying like a pack of 5 sponge filters off Amazon for $4. But for some specific stuff, and especially if I can incubate eggs in it, that kind of justifies the cost a bit more, you know. So I'm not gonna, and it still takes up space. I'm not gonna put it on every tank. It's still not perfect, blah blah. But for some of the bigger tanks, you know, it's kind of nice to have a little polish or a little extra filtration on there. Air-powered hang-on backs have been manufactured. I've seen them, can't remember the brand. Yeah, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure they're a thing and that it's not a new idea, for sure. Just right now, they're not that popular or talked about as an option, but I think they make a lot more sense than a sponge filter in some cases. Your DIY hang-on back has way more area for filter media and can filter while still using forever things. Yeah, exactly. You can fill it up with... It honestly has more space than a lot of the commercial hang-on backs. And, yeah. I swear sponge filters don't suck up poop or mold. They surely keep the aquarium healthy. I mean, they do. I'm realizing now, I was on the course sponge filter gang. Now I realize I need to find one in there, too, to really do much. Or do as much as I need for some tanks. Some tanks, the coarse sponge is enough. But not all of them. That's because they won't cut the mustard. The powered HOP will just be more pop. What do you mean by that? I've had good results with fish spawning and non-mechanically filtered tanks, but I do both. I like filters too. I like moving water. What can I say? What can I say, man? Okay, but what do you guys think of this tier list? Okay, for our own conversations, I like this because of the criteria. It gives us something to judge them all off of. It's aquarium co-op, of course. The only S tier filter that they put up there was the sponge filter. Come on. Let's go to the 7 criteria for that. While I'm doing that, tell me what you guys think the S tier filter should be. So, I think we're looking at price, beginner-friendly, ease of maintenance, appearance, durability, effectiveness, noise. Price, okay, let's say sponge filter does that well. Beginner-friendly, I say actually debatable because some people have issues with the air pumps, and in bigger tanks, deeper tanks, it can be a learning curve, but let's just give it beginner-friendly. Ease of maintenance, spill risk, Spill risk, not high. I would say ease of maintenance. No, actually, I kind of don't like the maintenance of some sponge filters. I really don't. You gotta put them in the, you know, pull them out without getting everything everywhere. Squeeze them out like 3 billion times. I mean, I haven't had to do that with some of my sponges because of the way I've been running things, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily the easiest maintenance. I think that a hang-on back filter has easier maintenance than a sponge filter in some ways. I don't know. It's just right there. It's very accessible. So I kind of feel like ease of maintenance is debatable. Appearance definitely fails that. So let's say it's done 3 so far. Durability, sure. Let's do that. Effectiveness, I don't know. I would say it's decently effective, but I think it's less effective than other things on this list. So I'm going to take that off. And then noise. I think noise, it's worse than a lot of things on this list. So I think the sponge filter really only does... I don't think it does my standard for S tier. I think S tier should do 6 of the 7. And I think at most it does 5 of the 7. But maybe it only does 4 of the 7. You guys let me know. Now, the sponge filter could still be an S tier just because it's the only thing right now you can reliably use to build out a fish room without dying. It is cheaper to run, but only really cheaper to run if you have a pump that can run multiple sponges. So, I mean, the pump I have right now is like, you know, how much was it? LPH 45. Yeah, the pump I have right now is like $250. Not exactly cheap. It is running however many tanks I have in here, which is a lot. Is all for one pump, so I'd say the value is very good. But, you know, it's still an investment. Obviously, it'd be way more expensive to put $1 billion. Although, to be fair, you could run all the box filters off of the air too. So there's some competition there. Jesse said my pump is $750. Yeah. Well, Jesse, what do you think should be... What else do you think should be an S tier? I think that canister filters on price, they can be more expensive, but I think the performance is good. You're paying... If you have one tank that's just your show tank, you're not... If you have one tank you're investing in, your money's going to be more worth it to get a good canister filter over a sponge filter. So if we're just looking at the perspective of not building a fish room, like we're just looking at best filtration for one tank that you care a lot about, then I'd say that the price on the canister isn't that big of a deal to me. I think it's fine. Beginner friendly, well, I'm an idiot. I don't know really how to service my canister filter without it shooting water everywhere yet. So you're going to have to axe that off. Ease of maintenance, spill risk, going to have to axe that off. Appearance, fantastic. Durability, sure. Effectiveness, great. Noise, great. If you get a good canister filter. So realistically, my show tank has sponge, hang on, and canister. Well, what do you probably have like some massive... Your show tank's probably 3 billion gallons. I would say 5 out of the 7. So I said it's 6 out of the 7, but I think canister could be an S tier, but A tier is fair. I think if they could figure out a way to solve the problems with underground filters, it would be S tier. Now, someone said they like the box filters the best. I want to know why. The box filters, they're in the B tier. I think that Matten filters at C is insane. I haven't set up a proper Matten filter, really. Sonny G said, would that be the $50,000 tank? That's funny. But I feel like Matten filters are awesome. I don't think they look bad. It's basically like having a black background. From what I can tell, the maintenance is good. They last a long time. I think the appearance is good. The price isn't that bad either, honestly. They can be air powered. I think they're durable. I think the Matten filter... Someone tell me why the Matten filter shouldn't be S tier. Or at least A tier. So the box filter shows how dirty, the sponge you can't tell. That's an interesting thing. I like box filters. You can put whatever you want in them for different media. One could argue there's sponge filters that do that. These big sponge filters I got on Amazon, they come with a bunch of the ceramic balls to put in the middle. So technically, but it's an interesting point about the box filters, seeing how dirty they are. I mean, the sponge filters, you can just see if they stop working as well. I remember my first tank back in the late 80s. As a young kid, undergrabber filters come with 10-gallon starter. So the Matin filter's problem comes down to space. It's just a bother. Matin filter would be the look of it in a tank, is my guess. Well, where do you guys think it belongs? I just think that C is crazy, because I think it's a really good type of filtration. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I don't know. I feel like C tier is sad. I mean, we're talking about the space and a bother. I mean, undergrabber filters seem kind of like a pain to deal with. You got plants growing into them. How you gonna clean them underneath? Like, it seems like a big deal. Hey, what's the deal with buying decap brine shrimp eggs? If they say air dried, will they hatch, or is the egg the food? If they're not hatching, then the egg is the food. But there are some decapsulated eggs that can hatch. Like, I've been decapsulating my own eggs, and I've hatched some of them. So what I've been doing is, if one of the things you could do with eggs that are bad or not hatching as easily, is you could decapsulate them, just feed them like that, or you could decapsulate them, and that could help them have a better hatch rate. But if air dried, I would imagine they can't hatch, and the egg is the food. In theory, it's a better food because the artemia hasn't even expended any energy breaking through the shell, so it's 100% of the yolk and all that kind of stuff. Matin is good. I had one spent time building and removed after a few months. Jesse said I'd rehydrate and feed on the decapsulator. Okay. I think Matin should be at least B, but maybe it does have some issues. I just think C it is a little much. I think it's a little much. The D tier, I agree. All these weird gimmicky. There's a lot of filters that make no sense to me. I would have put the hang-on canister lower. Anything hanging on that has a lot of water, even just the hang-on breeder boxes, scare me because I know I could knock it off at any time. I'm very clumsy. And then the only other thing, I think that hang-on back filters should be S tier. I think that they should be S tier. I don't think the price is that bad. They're beginner friendly. They're with every single kit tank ever. They're easy to maintain. Their appearance is better than the sponge. Durability is fine if you don't buy a terrible one. They're effective. And again, if you got a good one, they don't make a lot of noise. So I just... after a while, it's just the eyesore, the Matin. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah. Filtration. Have you ever tried the canister hang on back? I have not tried the canister hang on back. But I just would not want to, based on the concept of having a canister filter hanging off my tank. Space-wise and risk of spilling wise, I'm good. I'm good off of that one. That's just me personally. That's just me personally. I want to do Matin, but plant the sponge. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think this Matin has to be ugly. I think you could put things on it, and I think that would look cool. And maybe even increase the effectiveness. Sonny said Matin is perfect for shrimp breeding, though. Yeah. Let's make the Matin's A. But I think S should be hang on back, and then maybe sponge. And the air-powered hang on back. So I've been buying more of the fluvals, hang on back filters. Really, it's the mechanical filtration though. Like, you could do filterless tanks and stuff like The filter could be a small sponge. Like, I'm not even chasing the perfect filtration capacity. I don't have overstock tanks and stuff. I want something that does a little filtering, a little water movement, a little aeration, but the hang on thing that I can make myself and modify to where I can incubate eggs and raise fry for their first few days in. Now we're talking. Box filter reigns supreme, I think. They have air driven and power head driven. My thing with box filters is, so they can be extremely cost effective, more than the sponges, honestly, because if you buy them in bulk from certain places, it's easier to buy. Like, I think if you got them from Gemco, you can get a box of box filters for not that expensive, some of the cheaper ones. So I think actually they could be S tier. I don't know what it is about them. A lot of them are kind of cheaply made, kind of annoying to mess with. Like some of the green, the ones that had the actual photo, like if they tilt to the side at all, the air bubbles go wrong and they don't go up the tube. And so some of them, the box filters are finicky, and if they're like off balance or something, that it doesn't really work the best, or the bubbles are humongous. I'm about to order a few cases from Gemco soon, yeah. But I do think there's a big argument to make for the box filters being good. For some reason, I just kind of have something against them. But like on paper, you're not wrong. I think they're actually more cost effective than sponges. You can customize them. I guess maintenance isn't that bad. And yeah, you got me. You got me. Maybe they're S tier, man. They're kind of ugly, but less ugly than a sponge, so maybe you got me. I have 4 tanks with just airstone and plants. Water changes every few days. All right, guys. I'm gonna end the stream coming up because I need to finish doing some stuff. I need to get some sleep. I need to figure out how much of a disaster my life is right now for the weekend. Get ready, send some emails, let people know, hey, sorry I didn't get to your order this week, that kind of a thing. Bro, I have to put out some videos. I have to do something. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I'm doing things, just being myself, live streaming, all my flaws, all my charming, weird behaviors, all out in display. I'm putting myself out there, and I have a good time. I stream a lot for myself because it's just fun hanging out with people, chatting about the fish stuff. There's no one around me unless I'm at a club or in the Discord that I'm talking to about this stuff. So it's fun. It's entertaining for me. Hopefully it's entertaining for you guys. And again, I make content like I like. I listen to streams while I do stuff. I know Luis, some other people listening. I would like to get some more interviews, some more things besides me just yapping. But hey, I'm going to just put it out there. We are the hardest working fish tuber stream. We are. Hardest working fish tuber stream. We're going to become the most consistent as we go. This is a 3-hour stream. Minimal topics, yapping, vibes, hanging. Who else can do it but us? Who else can do it but us? Might just come back tomorrow, hit him with a 2-time back-to-back yap session. All fish in our tanks. We are here chilling in our tanks. We're killing it. We're the best. Ahmed Magdi, good night, fish bro. Good night to you as well. How you doing, my guy? 3-hour stream was a warm up. That's right. We're warming up for the 12-hour one day. So I'm at rest up. I do hope to stream tomorrow. No idea what it's gonna be. It could just be another yap thing. If that's cool with you guys, maybe I'll bust out the camera, take a look at some stuff. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. A little yappy. Oh man, inmytanks.com. But I'll be honest, I'm trying not to talk about the website stuff too much because I just want to make videos. I always want to make videos, but you gotta sell some fish to power the videos. So I refuse to breed with just trying to make as much possible. The breeding's always gonna be fun first for me. William said, have a good night, Nick. About to catch the replay. Hope to catch you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. We've been hanging out as always. This has been a fun time. It's actually been a highly tolerable time. It's been a time that I'm not going to look back and think that was a bad time. I'm going to think that was a fine time that I would actually like to experience again another time. And you know, that's when you really know you've had a time. When you look back on the time that you had and you look at the time you're having now and the time that you're going to have in the future, and you think to yourself, I would like my future time to be like that time that I had when I was sitting here thinking about that time. And now that I remember how that time was and what it was to me, what it meant, what it felt like, I'm looking forward to the clock, to the watch, to the digits, 24 hours of my day, and thinking, I hope that another day could be like that day, that time, because it was a time that we may not always remember, but we had a good moment and appreciated it, and there was no regrets, no negative emotions. It was all positive fish vibes, and that's when you know it's been a good time. And Steve said, good stream, Nick. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. And Ahmed said, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days. Every day is the good old days, man. The good old now and the good old future. There may be good old days. There are good old new days. There's good new days. There's good unhad days. Every moment, live in it, experience it, because why worry about something that ain't happening yet? We'll get there when we get there and cross that bridge when we come to it. Or maybe we come to the bridge and we gotta hire the service where someone drives you across the bridge because you're too scared to drive yourself across the bridge. But sometimes we need a little help to get across the bridge, and that's okay because it can be crossed. Delaware. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next time. But for now, this has been In My Tanks. You already know that if it's been in my tanks, then it's also going to be in my tanks. Out. Ka-chow.